Yeah, 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 yeah. Shake it, but keep pointing out all the lies. Putting the scripture right in your eyes. The Bible guy, he reads Hebrew and Greek and shows you that your book's not unique. The Bible guy, he turns through the pages until every Christian rages. The Bible guy, watch one time and you're hooked. Now let's watch why the Christians get cooked. The Bible guy.
Howdy, folks. Oh. Howdy, folks. Bible Guy here, coming at you live from Northeast Texas. How we all doing today? It is Saturday, July 11th, 2026, and today we're going to have good conversations. I can feel it in my bones. So, everyone make sure you tap that screen like Jonathan wanted to tap King David. Tap that screen like the Romans tap them nails into Jesus. Let's get the word out there so we can have some interesting conversations. I'm your host, Dalton the Bible Guy, coming at you live from Northeast Texas, resident atheist Bible expert. How we all doing today? Dylan is here. You bet he is. Northeast Texas, that's God's country. I'm taking it back single-handedly. I'm out here in Northeast Texas telling God he can shove it. I'm gonna plant a little flag on his corpse for atheism. How's that sound? Jen didn't end the stream until 9 this morning. That's crazy. Today is the day we finally get the evidence. Listen, I don't have high hopes and confidence in Christians being able to actually provide reason to believe in their gods. But hey, today could be the day. And I'm joined by the lovely Ashlyn and Sork. How are y'all doing today?
What's going on?
Oh my god, hi Sork.
Hey, it's been a while. I'm just strapping my rollerblades on, so I can't stay for long. But I just wanted to know how you handle these philosophical approaches.
Oh, so what I do is I have what's called the Philbro timer. I have a timer. I'll show it to you real quick. So I have the timer, and it's got the Philbro rulebook on it. And the Philbro rulebook is as follows. 1, you must talk at a measured pace because we know how much the Philbros love rambling at 1,000 miles per hour because they think that if they can, it's like shattering a bunch of bullets at you all at once. It's kind of hard to really comprehend what's being said to you if you're being spoken to at 1,000 miles per hour. It's a rhetorical tactic. So I get them to stop doing that. 2, I tell them if you use technical jargon, that jargon must be explained. And now I'm going to start implementing this thing where I use a notebook to write down exactly what they say in there and when they make a claim. And then we break down every word that we don't know the meaning of, because sometimes what ends up happening is that they use technical jargon that they actually don't know the meaning of, and they're actually just repeating a script.
Right.
Sork, are you friends with Styx as well? I'm pretty sure you are.
I think so.
Yeah. Styx is also a good person they generally always roam, and they're really great with philosophical questions as well, and they generally are willing to come up.
This is hilarious that you came up with these rules, because I did the same thing independently without knowing you did this. I just came up with my own rule set within the past 2 weeks.
Oh, I love that. Oh yeah, Styx is the stick that I use to beat Philbros with. Number 3, he said fake news. Number 3 is explain to me like I'm your grandmother, because I'm not the philosophy guy. That's kind of more connected to number 2. Number 4, your goal in this debate must be to persuade me not to win debate, because you can often hear in their rhetoric that they're actually not interested in convincing you of anything. They just want to appear as if they are philosophically literate and want to appear sophisticated and smart. And also they just want to win a debate. And so I make it very clear then that if I get that they must be here to convince me, not just simply to win a debate. And we can totally tell in the way that they speak with us. And then number 5 is that they have 5 minutes to do so. And that rule only applies, number 5 only applies if I don't have someone like Styx up here to take them on directly, because I'm not philosophically competent, so I'm not going to put up with it for more than 5 minutes.
Yeah, I've been plagued with a number of philosophical approaches lately, and I'm trying to decide how to deal with it. Honestly, I feel like the audience gets bored to tears by it. So I almost want to say, like, let's just. It's also not the right format. Like philosophy, if you're gonna do philosophy, you read an argument, you think about it for an hour, you go cook dinner, you read it again. Like it's a very slow thing to like think properly. I don't know if we're gonna be able to prove God on a TikTok live, right?
Yeah, and at the end of the day, these Phil Bros aren't actually interested in convincing anyone of their position. That's the fact.
Yeah.
They've memorized the
Well,
script and they've regurgitated it
right.
like a dog regurgitates its vomit.
So
Right.
another
Oh,
method,
you go ahead.
sorry. Another method that I've seen and that I've done is that if you pull up a notepad, and you literally just have them like do premises and have them explain it, if they are like actually philosophically competent, it shows through on
Yeah.
whether they do, because they a lot of the times they say a bunch of words that actually don't make sense when you string them together in a sentence, and or they read it somewhere and they don't actually know what it means. That happens more often than not.
Yeah.
Uh,
I want to be like careful because I respect philosophy, so I feel like it's got a bad name. It's been tarnished, but like I respect the field of philosophy, but I feel like we're so like on this platform biased against the whole scholarly pursuit just because of how some bad actors use it.
yeah, I agree. Phil Bros give philosophy a bad name, and they're doing more of a disservice to the field than they're doing a service to their own field. In fact, they're not only are they turning people away from philosophy, they're even turning people away from theism by acting the way that they do. It's like learning the Bible before you read it. Before you
I
can read
think
it. Yeah.
the line that Dalton uses the most is like, this is a Bible channel, not a philosophy channel. And if you're not able to like there we all don't know all the subjects, and just kind of reiterate, do you know the Bible? Because that's the subject that I have here on the board. And if they're unwilling to compromise with that, like that, I don't know what to tell them. Like that, like just tell them like, listen, this is not the skill set. This is the skill set that I know. I don't talk about things outside of my knowledge.
Speaking of potential Phil Bros, Mike Hauer in the comment section says, "Read Aquinas Summa, you will see the light." The Summa Theologica or the Summa Contra Gentiles? Because I've read both. As an ex-Catholic who was also a Thomist who loved Thomism, I've read it. I'm still an atheist, so congratulations on that, Mike.
Well, thanks for having me
Aquinas,
up for a second. I know getting crowded
yeah,
with friendlies is not the most entertaining thing, so I appreciate it. I'm gonna go rollerblading. I reposted.
Hell yeah,
ha-
thank you.
have fun, Sork. It's nice to see you.
You too.
Yeah, so do they think their Holy Spirit gives them some matrix download? What, the Phil Bros? Like they think that if they just like say the right words, they don't even have to know the meaning, they'll be convincing. Like if you don't know what you're talking about, how am I supposed to know what you're talking about?
Oh, maybe they think philosophy is like a spell.
Yeah, it gets downloaded into their
Like
brain.
it charms the person.
Christians who don't read, and that's another thing, is that Phil Bros don't read the Bible. And the reason why they want to engage in philosophy, and this I'm talking to all the atheists out there, if you're doing these lives, the reason they want to engage in philosophy with you is because they don't know the Bible well enough to defend it, and yet they believe in it with their whole heart.
That, or they know how awful it is, so they have to turn to philosophy.
Yeah. They argue in a way that is intentionally hard to parse and count on that to intimidate people. Yeah, exactly. The Philbro rulebook was mostly designed with the intention of seeing the rhetorical weapons used by Philbros in the conversation, and then disarming them of these weapons. Because once you do that, it's very clear that they don't have anything. Not true, by the way. I've yet to meet a Philbro who knows the Bible. We already got a super chat for the day. At Ivy Ann. Here, let me. At Ivy Ann with £19 and 99 pennies. Sleep and UK time zones are buggering up my dopamine dosing schedule. Nice to see you. Ivy Ann, nice to see you too.
19 pounds and 99 pennies is diabolical.
I don't know what they call their tiny money. I assume they're called pennies over there.
Isn't it just 19 pounds 99?
I don't know. I'm just gonna keep calling it pence. I'm gonna keep calling it pennies though because it's funnier. Prod says, "Why do you think philosophy was created? Philosophy was created so that because people want to understand how the world works, and philosophy was a mechanism that's been used to understand the world and to understand life and meaning."
And it is valuable. Do not get me wrong. Like to learn the sciences and virtually every, if not all degrees, you have to take a philosophy in the science course. Like I took philosophy of psychology. Dr. Blitz had to take philosophy courses because the scientific method is a philosophy when you think about it. It's a method that was developed through philosophical thought. It's not like it's an entirely useless thing. It's just that without being paired with observable, demonstrable aspects, it's not as useful on its own. Like the both of those go hand in hand, right? That they should go hand in hand, and that's like how we get to the closest measure of truth.
I'm on. You can't see it on TikTok, but on YouTube, everyone will be able to see it. I'm making it look like with your profile picture. I'm picking your nose with the cursor of my mouse. Hi,
Me?
Arwen. Yeah, you.
Hi, Erwin.
Um,
I need to change my profile picture to what did you make me, a tiefling?
Oh God. Yeah, we've been playing
No, I would get so many DMs. I feel like
DMs from Dungeon Masters.
DMs from DMs.
Guys, we've been playing nonstop Baldur's Gate for the past week. That's why y'all haven't seen very much of me, is because I've been playing Xbox with Ashlyn, and we've been playing Baldur's Gate. We've done the campaign once, and now we're doing it again, but slower this time.
Dalton is obsessed with dialogue, and it's driving me insane.
Ashlyn is not a gamer. She doesn't get it. She doesn't understand that when you play a game, like
Wow.
I've played
Wow.
I've played
Wow.
Skyrim. No, I'm holding to this. I've played Skyrim dozens of times. Every time I play it, I never skip dialogue, because it's part of the experience. You have to listen to what everyone in the game
Not
says.
all of it. Not when I've heard it 50 million times, because we all know Shadowheart and what, like, I've done these dialogues 15 times.
She doesn't get it, y'all. She doesn't understand.
I'm not mashing it. I'm just skipping things that I know
Inverted.
the storyline.
Doesn't matter if you know it. You have to listen to it. Inverted Psychology says, I agree with Dalton. Yes, because I'm right. All right. We had someone who came up, but then they disappeared. Dalton, you play Dark Souls, right? No, I've never played Dark Souls. Probably the I maybe we'll get around one day to playing, like, what's it called? Elden Ring, which is like Dark Souls-esque, right?
Oh yeah. Leia says don't keep gaming for you. Yeah, what a misogynist thing to say because I'm a woman.
Nah, you're just wrong. It's not because you're a woman, it's because you're wrong, is all.
Because I'm pulling the misogyny card.
Dark Souls almost gave me a brain aneurysm. Because that's why I've been like avoiding Dark Souls and games, because I know that I'm gonna hate it. Hi, Lathe.
Hi, let Ashlyn play the games the way she wants to play the games.
Well, when she's playing with me, you cannot skip dialogue. I want to hear what they have to say.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
I
I didn't realize that Duncan was God Emperor playing the games.
It is my it is my server.
I
Okay,
have
that's
been
valid.
playing it the way that he has wanted. Don't get me wrong. And every time he like, there are some things where I like want to go on a different dialogue path, and it's my choice. But you can't not call me a gamer for that. I am playing video games. After you went to bed, by the way, I played Valhalla.
Oh, well, la dee da. We have a guest here.
Yo, what's up, brother?
Taha, IQ. I'm gonna ask you 3 preliminary questions, and then we'll get
Okay.
into the conversation. Question number
All
1:
right.
Are you at least 18 years old?
Of course.
Question number 2: What pronouns do you go by?
He/him.
Question number 3: Are you a Christian?
No, I'm Muslim.
Why do Muslims keep requesting? I gotta ask.
Oh,
Genuinely.
because I got very great arguments for you as a Muslim.
But like, don't y'all understand? Are y'all really bad at reading the room or something? Or like,
Oh no, I
reading-
understand. I understand that, but
reading the sign.
I understand that, but I think that
Like,
I have good
okay,
arguments that
well,
can stick up.
I don't care though. Like, listen,
I
if
think you're kind of running.
if I have, I'm not running. You do you not have social awareness or something?
Taha, you can't run from a debate that you never asked to be a part of.
Yeah.
Oh no, but I'm kind of asked to be part of it because I think I
Taha.
can
No,
stand up with my
Taha.
arguments.
Is this-
No,
is
if
this your line?
there are tons of other debate spaces that you can go and be a part of. This is a live specifically designed towards this. Taha, you sound young.
Christians and Muslims can really relate in a lot of things.
I
I'm
don't
here
give
to
a
stick up
shit.
with those
You're not.
arguments.
We're not here. This is not the Taha show. This is not about you. I suggest that maybe you reassess your self awareness and come to the conclusion that when a place is telling you no and there's not consent, that you should listen to that no. And it makes me scared for the women in your life.
Yeah. Like,
Well, I have a question for you. How about that?
if someone was having a live about which is better, DC or Marvel, would you go up on the panel and go, "I want to talk about why you should believe in Prophet Muhammad"? Would you do that?
I'm not saying to believe in it. I'm just saying I could stick up with some arguments and also
Would you
defend
go on to it?
Christian.
Would you go on a panel where they were discussing DC versus Marvel to start spreading your bullshit? Would you do that?
Taha,
How about this? How about this? How about I
No,
argue
no.
for the
Shh,
Christians?
shh,
So
no.
No, you're not a Christian.
Hold on. Taha, I'm just going to tell you the socially appropriate action. So maybe because you didn't have role models in your life to teach you this. Right
okay,
now
you're
would be
just
the
assuming,
time.
but that's fine.
No, I said maybe.
You're
That's not
not
an
gonna-
assumption. I said maybe. The thing is that right now would be the time to say, "Oh, I apologize. I didn't realize. I thought maybe you'd
Why
be
would
open to
I
the
apologize to gay
conversation."
people?
So you're also a homophobe.
What?
So you're a bigoted asshole. That fits. Actually, everything about this conversation is now tracking.
God, Muslims are. God, every single fucking Muslims, listen. If I wanted to ask about Islam, I would say, why should I be a Muslim? If I have a live that says, why should I be a Christian? That means that the person I want to talk to are Christians. I do not want to talk to a Muslim. Jesus Christ. All right. Storm Dog. Hello, Storm Dog. I'm gonna ask you 3 questions, and then we'll get to the conversation at hand. Question number 1: Are you at least 18 years old?
Nope.
Question number 2: What pronouns do you?
He
go
said
by?
he said no,
Oh, you said no. Oh, then bye.
or they said no. I don't know the gender. Yeah, unfortunately, you have to be 18 years of age of or older, preferably honestly 21 plus or 25 plus. That brain development is key. But that is TikTok terms of service, and we do not talk to children. Even if TikTok said that it was okay, we don't talk to children. It's strange. We're adults. They're not.
Yeah, I'm not a Catholic priest. Petty, please. I'm gonna ask you 3 preliminary questions, and then we'll get to the conversation. Question number
How
1.
you doing?
Oh, that's right.
They're
They're
the troll. I got them. They're blocked.
Yeah, thank you. Anyways, everyone make sure you're tapping that screen. Only request up if you are a opposition. We are taking a Christian opposition right now. Christians, to be specific, because I don't know why I have to make that specific, but Christians, not Muslims. Christians. Jesus fucking Christ. When I do
It's
the
kind of
what-
interesting to hear a Muslim try to convince us of Christianity.
Yeah, that was something crazy. He was about to blaspheme his religion, just so he could be on a panel. Which flavor of Christian? I don't care. Um, Muslims, okay. Like on the days when I hold the live topic that says, "Why should I believe in your God?" If you're Muslim, then you can request up. Then we can talk about why I should believe in Allah.
Okay, that's a strange way to say that, but okay.
You put
I
a lot of emphasis on that syllable.
I said it a lot with a lot of throat. I said it with a lot of throat.
Are you're
Go-
working on the guttural sound?
Yeah.
Arabic. Every time I was learning it, and they're like, no, learn how to speak it before. I was like, I'm pretty sure I'd probably be better at the written part, because if you've ever tried with an American accent to say anything in Arabic, they just look at you like you're insane.
I wonder like what the
With Just
equivalent
Cause.
of like listening to it, like listening to another, an accent. It's like, do I sound like I'm like, I don't know, like a really intense like Scottish accent? Like that's how I imagine it. They're like, I don't even know what you're saying. Like you're
Well,
not.
Someone said Dalton throat goat training. You know what? I didn't get enough practice with my ex. So I'm practicing now with Arabic. Do a Scottish accent? It'll be great. I know.
That wasn't bad. That wasn't bad.
But Ma, it's just my boo. That's from
Someone says,
Braid.
Gotcha says, don't be, who the F cares? Apparently you do, because people that don't care at all don't leave comments.
Yeah. You do.
They
care.
generally scroll past. I don't think you understand the paradox of commenting on something that you don't care.
Gotcha was an Ease Live, scared to go on panel. They're one of those Christians, I see. But yeah, you do. And if you believe in your religion, you should care whether or not I'm Christian, because your Lord has commanded you to go out and make disciples of all nations.
Yeah, Christians in chat, and just so y'all are aware, if you don't want to come up and at least try to convince us, you're like 1% responsible for me going to hell. So as long as you're okay with that, you do you, boo.
Let's see. Do Christians get spit on in Israel? I'm anti-Israel. So that doesn't tell me whether or not I should be a Christian, whether or not Christians get spit on. God, it's been so long since I got spat on. What a good time.
Yeah. And to be very specific, where not everyone in Israel are like, they're not all bad people. In fact, there are many people that are
Hate
like
this regime.
against the state. Yeah. It's when we see by that, it was we mean the genocidal Israel.
Yeah. Let's see. Hail Loki, for he is burdened with glorious purpose. Oh, I see. We're taking a very
I have that
specific.
shirt
Oh, that's a. Oh, yeah. Of course, it's a shirt because it's like his
from
most famous line.
yeah. I have
My-
it. I got
my-
it, and I was like, I have a Loki shirt.
He had so much fun with that because I remember when he did the press show where he showed up on stage as Loki, and then he goes,
Yes.
"Shh," and everyone quiets down.
Yeah.
Like, damn.
Oh yeah.
Imagine how goated you would feel in that moment.
Yes. Tom Hiddleston is amazing.
Also, make sure you're tapping the screen, sharing out the live, doing your repost, and if you can, send your daily heart me. I guess the Christians are scared again today. So we need to get guests up here, and I'm assuming y'all want to be entertained. Are you not entertained? So do all the things. Thanks for the go popular.
Popular.
Gonna be popular.
Have you actually seen that movie yet?
Yeah. I
Okay, so-
borrowed
No.
your YouTube
That's right.
to watch it.
I like it when he asks you questions. It's like
That
yeah,
you
you were
should
there
know
too.
the answer to.
I did
I
the
think
same
I've-
thing.
I think I'm still on the TV at the other place that I live.
You still are logged into my YouTube?
You're still signed in.
Probably.
Y'all,
I need to go screw up your algorithm.
I once let Ashland have access to my Facebook so that she could have access to my TikTok, and I don't remember the reason why. And she went on there and like had me follow all these right-wing like websites like Donald Trump, JD Vance bullshit, Elon Musk,
Amazing.
and it fucked,
I would
Like-
expect nothing less.
it
Like
fucked my For You
multiple
page
of these
up.
accounts.
It fucked my For You page
Multiple
up.
of these accounts. So many. I think I did it for like 30 minutes straight.
I can just you just giggling the whole time.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. John with an H says, "Are you American?" Yes, I am American, and I'm not proud to be an American. Where at least I know I'm sometimes free, except for when Donald Trump doesn't like it. That was very wrong, but also hilarious. Yeah.
It's a cost thing. If it's not the same level of wrong if it's funny.
That is true. Just like if someone trolls and they're funny, you're like, I'll allow it. That was good. But if you troll and you're not funny, I'm extra annoyed with you.
Exactly.
Also, by the way, everyone, schedule has been changed over at the line. The next time we will be appearing on the line is on Saturday, July 25th. So make sure you mark your calendars out so that you can catch me live on that day with Sarah from Leaving Faith.
Oh, boo! That's too far out.
I know. I was excited. I was like scheduled for 3 out of the 4 Saturdays, and now I'm only scheduled for one of them. Is the host ski slopping? I don't know what that means. What's ski slopping?
Brighting Hills? I don't know. I'm trying to think
I don't
of
know.
a way.
I know I'm trying to make it something. And nothing's coming to mind.
What does ski slopping mean?
Nothing makes you feel so old as to have to Google slang.
125 people in here. Cool. We are all atheists. I can only assume that everyone in here is an atheist because the Christians are not requesting up.
DMs, Dalton.
Yeah. Ski slopping is not a standard ski term, but is typically a playful mispronunciation. AI overdo. Don't tell me what you think it means because you don't know.
There's a guest.
It's gonna make shit up. Okay, we got a guest here, Wyatt. Wyatt, I'm gonna ask you 3 preliminary questions, and then we'll get to the conversation at hand. Question number 1: are you at least 18 years old?
That's a tally. That's a tally for Dalton.
Yeah, Bible guy 3, atheist 0. Devil Doc Magia says, "I rebuke thee, Jesus." Guys, Christians, Jesus just got rebuked. The only way you can bring him back into this live is if you come up and debate. You rebuke Jesus, we do rebuke Jesus. I rebuke him all the time. All powerful, my left titty. Okay. That's nice. I don't know what to do with that.
It's just like a saying, like my left nutsack. It's just a saying.
Oh, okay. Nice. Yeah. Good for you. Thank you for your service. You're welcome. All right. What you say? Jesus low-key cool? No, Jesus isn't cool. What resources did you use to learn Hebrew? I would also want to learn. Don't use the resources I used. Find yourself an actual Hebrew teacher. I took the long path. You can take the short path to get there. Hudson Mason, and I'll discuss that in a second. Hudson Mason, I'm going to ask you 3 questions and then we'll get to the conversation. Question number 1,
Alright.
are you at least 18 years old?
Yes, I am. I'm 18.
Really? Are you American?
Yep.
What's a W-2 form?
I'm more of a Hitler supporter than anything else.
Yeah, sure. Ruin, are you at least 18? If you don't answer, I'm assuming that you're not. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye-bye.
That's 2 more in a row. We're
Christianity.
up to 5 now.
Yeah, Christianity. What does it say about Christianity that when the only people who are willing to come up are these children, the adults are too scared to come up and talk, so they have to send in these racist ass kids. His username says, "Oh,
Oh. I didn't see that. Yeah, I should start vetting that a little better. Thank you, Velvet Worm. A lot of Americans don't know what a W-2 is. Then they're not qualified for this conversation.
Dylan's daycare. I do not want to be a daycare."
Like, at minimum, they could be like, oh, I have, like, I don't know what this is about. There's, I don't know. Like, generally, we only ask if they sound really young.
So people's
Whoa.
whoa.
I have to ask you I have to ask you 3 questions, and then we'll get to the conversation. Question number 1: are you at least 18 years old?
Yes, sir.
Question number 2: what pronouns do you go by?
Oh dang. Just call me he, sir. I mean,
And question number 3: are you a Christian?
sure, but I just want to ask a question. I don't want to really argue with y'all, but I just got off live, right? So you're an atheist, right?
Yep, I'm an
Okay.
atheist.
Okay, so right, so I just got off live when a guy said Christianity is satanic, right? So I asked him, okay, so basically I said, "Are you a atheist?" He said, "No." I asked, "Are you satanist?" He said, "No."
Why are you asking us questions about someone
Someone
else's
else's
life?
life.
Hold on.
Whoa,
Hold on.
How are we supposed to know?
She's
Wait,
not-
let me finish.
She has a name, by the way. Her name's Lathe.
Wait,
And again,
let me finish right quick.
Is
So
this
I
gonna
got
be
a question for
Is
you.
this going to be a question about my
Wait.
life?
Hey, hold on. I'm gonna teach you some social skills.
No,
When it's
no,
somebody
social skills. I'm
else's,
just asking
when
questions, not
it's
interrupt-
okay, when it's someone else's space, you don't get to come in here and do whatever the fuck you want. That's just not how it works. You pause, you listen, you let us explain. It's like if I walked into your house, wore shoes, started picking from your fucking fridge, and you go, stop, and you're like, wait. I just wanted to eat this chicken. It's weird. Don't do that.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, why don't they have any social skills? Nunya says Jesus rules, Trump rocks. Trump is a pedophile. Jesus is dead. If you disagree with the Jesus is dead thing, you're more than welcome to come up though. But Trump can fucking suck it, and I will gladly dance on his grave the day that comes. Did you have a working Discord invite link? I'd love to join. In my bio on my link tree, there's a Discord link. If it doesn't work for you, just copy the link and go into your browser and put it in, and you'll be able to get there. But it's called the name of the Discord is Bible Guys Disciples or something like that.
I don't think I'm part of the Discord.
You're not?
That's terrible of me.
You should be
I don't
part.
think I am.
You should be
I
part.
gotta go do it.
Yeah.
Yes. The link may not work anymore. To be fair, I need to send you an updated link, or you could grab it. It's super easy. It was supposed to be a forever link. I did generate that, but it's Discord, so.
Yeah,
Discord, much like TikTok, just does things on its own.
there is like let me think. I'm really bad at math. Like over 300 people here, 120 on TikTok, and then the rest of y'all are over there on YouTube. If you're not part of the Bible Guy Discord, you should be. You will be alerted every time I go live or every time Arwen goes live. So you guys gotta join the Discord. Jesus never existed. Why does Trump live rent free in so many people's minds? Well, as an American, that big orange turd has a big impact on my personal living. And then Jesus never existed. I'm not a mythicist. Trump was an informant for the FBI. Bullshit. You guys are delusional. I have to get past the 18 plus regulation on iPhone. Yes.
Yeah, Google search. You have to Google search how to do that. I refuse not to set that to 18. If you're a child, it's going to be much harder. You can Google search how to do it. There's a way on iPhone to get around that, or just use a desktop. But there is a way on iPhone to get around it. But I'm not going to have a non-verified server. That's the least that I can do. I'm not going to do ID verification. As someone who's lost my ID or had issues getting an ID from mail or all of that, that's just an over the top, and it's asking for personal information, and I know some people protect their own privacy, so I'm not going to impose that.
Yeah, if you guys want Bible Guy book nights and like movie nights, we got to get more people in the Discord to make it worthwhile. We got here Stanley the Manly Johnson. That was weird. Stanley, I'm going to ask you 3 questions and then we'll get to the conversation. Question
I'm pretty
number 1.
sure they're a troll. I'm
Oh
pretty
yeah,
sure. I thought I blocked them. Yeah.
I do recognize their profile picture. They are a troll. Go ahead and just give them a block.
Okay.
I'm not a troll.
You are. We've spoken to you before.
Yeah, we've spoken to you before several times.
Log into Discord through
Is that-
Safari instead of the app, and you can get by it.
Was that Kim Jong Il?
Yeah, with George Washington.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, he's a troll. I've spoken to him twice now.
I think he changed his user or his bio info. It said like LARPing or something, but prior.
Yeah, MAGA is a cult. Yes, Mazzini, it is a cult, and like maggots are like this close to making Trump their messiah. I made a second Discord account, but I forgot the password already. Damn, Velvet. You can do password retrieval, you know? Trolls need love too? Nah, fuck them trolls. They can live under their bridge and die. You don't have a clue what it is, LOL. Ask your payroll department. Yeah, if you don't know what a W-2 form is, you Americans should know. If you're at least 18, you're American, you should know what a W-2 form is.
When I was like my first 2 years in college, or my first year in college, I didn't work and I hadn't worked, and I still knew what a W-2 was. It's just like
Or-
information you glean.
So if they say that and they're like, if they really don't know, we can switch to college. Hey, are you in college? Because if you're not in, working or in college, the likelihood is very low. So it is possible that maybe there's an 18, 19-year-old who just went straight into college and didn't get a job. I have questions for that, like what is a FAFSA? Because in the United States, you're required to fill that out no matter the income.
That one I definitely knew. Yeah.
Yeah.
That one I did know just because I had to in college. Yep. That's a good one.
Yeah, 1099s. Yeah, but if you're a 1099, you probably know what a W-2 is, because if you're entering into that type of work, it requires a little more technicality, especially when filling out taxes, that you have to do some research on.
All right, everyone. You're taught in high school what a W-2 is most of the time by 11th grade, and yet none of these kids
Not in
seem to
private
know.
school.
Yeah, all these kids don't seem to know. Yeah,
Not in my private school. I didn't learn anything like that.
I don't remember learning about what a W-2 form was in my school. But
I sure had Bible class every semester.
I had Old and New Testament courses in school. Texas, gotta hate it.
Yeah.
I didn't learn what it was in school. Yeah, see, everyone, we just had, all of us have American education. So, did you really? Yes, I had Old and New Testament courses in school, starting from middle school and in high school. I had Bible courses in my public school setting, and
Which is wild.
and my teachers were not very good at teaching it like a academic study. I'm an American as well. Never had the Bible taught in school. That's crazy. Bible courses in school is crazy. Yeah. And it wasn't even. It was like a. God, it wasn't like a nothing class really. Like I didn't learn jack shit.
I remember having to do having to memorize verses and sometimes in my Bible classes. And I remember thinking, this is so silly.
I just took tests and passed them because it was an easy class. I'm okay. I'm in Oklahoma and thankfully did have the and did have that crap. You did have that crap or you didn't? Bring back
Didn't.
the book to Texas schools. Yeah, no thank you. I mean, sadly, it's getting brought back to Texas schools now. It's going to be I really hope that there are smart teachers out there who take it as an opportunity to what's the phrase, Ashland? Malicious
Compliance.
Malicious
compliance.
compliance.
Yeah,
there we go.
malicious compliance.
Yeah. If you're American and a woman, you should know that Afghan women are losing rights because of Trump. Well, yeah, fuck Trump. I think I'm gonna do a restart because the Christians are being cowardly. So hopefully we'll get some new Christians in here that aren't cowards. So I'll see you all in just a second. Hello, sexy YouTube people. I see you. How can a parent allow their child to be so uneducated? Happens more often than you think. In Texas, it's just the default setting. Hello, Velvet Worm, first one in here. Goatman, Inverted Psychology, Stevie, Samantha, Beatrix Potter, Mazzini Rants, Poopman Jones, Lay the Heaven Cheesy, Rosebro, Ashland, St. Brianna. Hello, all you people.
Oh shoot! It did it because I didn't close it out. I have to come back.
Yeah. The trick is the parents feel their authority is threatened if their kid are smarter. That was certainly true for me and my stepmother's relationship. I remember at one point, me and my stepmother were debating each other. And she at one point just told me to stop thinking. She could tell that I was thinking about what she was saying and coming up with rebuttals in my mind. And she told me to stop.
Dalton, stop thinking.
Yeah, it's because I was like questioning Christianity and leaving Christianity for Judaism. And we were debating over Jesus. And she wasn't having it.
You know, Christian. You know that I think it's from Anchorman. I don't remember where this quote is from. Where it makes sense if you don't think about it. That's how I think of Christianity.
It makes sense if you don't think about it. That's precisely right. Thoughts on near-death experience arguments? You know what? I always tell people when they bring up near-death experiences, I said, you know what near-death experiences aren't? They're not death experiences. You don't actually die in a near-death experience, which is why it doesn't tell you anything about what happens after you die. We were all born atheists. Some stayed atheists. Some stayed atheists. And some of us just took a while to get smart about it. At John Klein with the $5. Mitch McConnell would like to call in, but he can only debate for 20 minutes. Yeah. Is it okay? My opinion, guys. Is it just me, or does Mitch McConnell look like a turtle? He looks like a turtle to me. Like a turtle became a human.
This is a known thing, Dalton.
Well, I'm glad that we all agree then.
St. Brianna, you talked to Mitch McConnell. Oh wow. I'm sorry.
XCZ, I'm going to ask you 3 questions and then we'll get to the conversation. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old?
Hello? Sorry.
Hello, are you at least 18 years old?
I am 18, yes.
And what pronouns do you go by?
He, him.
All right. And are you a Christian?
No, but I had a question really quick.
What's your question?
Where do you get your definition of free will from?
Yeah, I basically looked at a bunch of different like online dictionaries definitions, and me and Ashlyn spent hours thinking about what it could possibly mean for free will to exist, and what does
Yeah.
it the free and free will mean, and that's how we eventually came to our
So
conclusion.
people like creators like Danny talk about this, or Robert Sapolsky, Daniel Dennett, and other contemporary philosophers or adjacent fields. So like neurobiology, and like basically a number of like content or like academia we consumed in order to come to this conclusion.
We had to figure out what differentiated free will from determinism, and it seemed like the comment, like the factor that it came down to was that in determinism all of our choices have underlying causes. So free will, the free and free will must mean free or independent of underlying causes. So now I get the standard definition I give for free will is the ability to make a choice independent of an underlying cause.
Okay, so I guess we do have free will, or you don't believe in free will?
I don't believe in free will. I think every choice we make has underlying causes.
But or sorry, maybe I'm mishearing it. Like I thought that's what you said. What free will was the making
No,
choices.
free will is the ability to make choices independent of
Oh,
underlying
independent.
causes. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Determinism would be the ability to make choices dependent on underlying causes.
Okay, I got it. Okay. I'm gonna do more research on that, but I mean, for now, I'm gonna take your word for it, but I'm definitely gonna do more research.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I would. So while I don't really appreciate all of Dr. Robert Sapolsky's arguments, in his sections in his book Determinate, when it comes down to the neurobiology aspects, because that is his field, that is a good place to start. Daniel Dennett talks a lot about compatibilism. I don't necessarily agree with it, but he has lectures on this online as well. I'm trying to think of all the other philosophers that we've read. I'd have to look at my resources again. You're welcome to DM me so I can give them to you if you'd like, to come up with more sources. Danny is another creator on here that does he does some videos and stuff and talks about it just kind of briefly. But yeah, those are good sources to look into. And then also, yeah, there's just tons of good information online regarding the subject.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much, guys.
Good day.
All right, see you.
All right. Metal Fingers. I'm going to ask you 3 questions and we'll get to the conversation. Question number 1,
Yeah.
are you at least 18 years old?
Yeah.
All right. Question number 2, what pronouns do you go by?
Oh, I go by he, him.
All right. And question number 3, are you a Christian?
Yeah.
Alrighty then. Fantastic. I'm Dalton the Bible Guy. This is Ashland. Why should I be a Christian?
Oh, well, to be honest, then again, I feel like oh, wait, my bad. I almost stepped on something, but yeah. Because, I mean, how do I put this? I feel like everyone should at least have Jesus in their life, and it does make you a better person. But, like, then again, you don't have to be a better person or a good person
I don't think
to
it
believe in
does.
Jesus.
I don't think it does make you a better person. What's the evidence for that?
I mean, well, to be honest, if you're like a true Christian, not like those fake Christians who try like shoving Jesus down your throat, or like ones who disrespect other religions,
You know,
and like you actually follow the Lord, like you actually follow the ways of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
they would
But-
call
You
but-
like
you
you love
they
thy
would
neighbor.
they would call you a fake Christian and say they're true Christians.
Like picking up the sword,
Yeah.
flipping tables, calling women Gentiles dogs. Let's see, telling us to follow the Torah, which means that we need to stone non-virgin women who lie about it on their wedding night. If you actually follow Jesus, no, the world would be a worse place.
Yeah, very much so.
I mean, then again, the Bible also has been altered throughout multiple years. So then again,
So
it
how do
could
you
have
know?
been like alterations from
Wait.
that
How,
time.
how do you know
Well-
then? How do you know who Jesus is without the text?
Well, there is like, to be honest, there's multiple different texts. We got like from the original agnostics, which the original agnostics believe that like a whole different thing. But then again, like they're also, I don't really believe.
Agnostics?
Agnostics?
You mean the Gnostics?
Yeah,
They're not
the
original
Gnostics.
They're not the original Christians.
I know they're not the original, but like they came around around that time period. So like there's many different texts that describe Jesus in many different ways. But then again, I know for sure.
Then
Like
how
if
do you?
you
It doesn't.
exactly
Okay,
follow,
it still doesn't matter. Even if those are relevant, how do you know which ones are actually following Jesus?
I mean, it's all about like really personal beliefs and stuff like that too. Because then
Yeah,
again, you
that's the
can't
point.
believe
Then how?
everything.
Okay, then cool. How do you know who the true Christians are then?
I mean, you can't really define a true Christian,
But
but a
why
true
did you
Christian
just
is
hold
someone.
on? No, no, no. If you can't define it in sentence right there, then you if you can't define it and then you're trying to tell me what it is, that it's nonsensical.
I mean, actually, you're right, but yeah. So so like what I mean by a true Christian is a person who at least tries to do good for others, tries to be charitable for others, tries to love thy neighbor. Like basically,
I
what the
don't I don't
teachings that he says.
I don't know. Well, Jesus' teachings don't really equal love thy neighbor. I mean, he says love thy neighbor, but
He says, yeah, he
if
says
we
it.
actually do the things that Jesus taught and believed, we wouldn't be very loving people. In fact, the people who are most like Jesus are probably the worst kind of people.
I mean, why would you say? I mean, why do you think from
Do
that
you
perspective?
do you think that people should be able to get divorced if
Yeah.
their spouse is well the fuck?
Yeah, Jesus would have
Wait.
Jesus
Yeah.
if you would ask
I
Jesus if can a couple get divorced if the wife is being beat by her husband, he would have said no.
no. He only gives an exception for adultery, and he means the adultery that's in the Old Testament, which means that the only way that men could perform adultery would be that if they slept with someone who was already married. They could take on as many wives as they wanted to. Well, really, women, because they were property, but that's a whole different story. So, yeah, Matthew 19 clearly tells us that Jesus is like, no, 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 no.
Yeah. I mean, from my personal perspective of things, I feel like maybe it's different during time periods and stuff like that. But at my whole of hearts, I don't believe that he truly acted like that. And then again, also, it was in the Middle East.
Maybe you're just a good person and you're putting your own thoughts about morality on a fictional like entity. Well,
You've
Jesus probably existed, but
you
you've created a new
yeah.
Jesus in your mind.
You have this like in your mind you have this idea of this perfect moral archetype and you're treating that as if that's Jesus, but the Jesus of the Bible isn't a moral archetype. He was a really really nasty person. If they were around today, we would call them a nasty person because he would have been xenophobic first and foremost. You don't think xenophobia is a really good thing, right?
Hell no.
That's when you like don't like people because they're a different ethnicity or
Yeah,
people group.
yeah, I know what that means.
Yeah, and Jesus called a woman a dog just because she was a Canaanite, a Syrophoenician. Jesus supported the law of Moses, and the law of Moses is horrible. It says horrible things about women first and foremost. Teaches them treats them as if they're property, and says that a woman. Let's say, for example, do you think it would be right if a man raped a woman? That woman
No,
would have to be married to her rapist.
I don't think that's right or cool, really.
That's what the law of Moses says, and Jesus said that we ought to follow the law of Moses.
And for telling you where I'm going to cite the source, it's Deuteronomy 22. So it's in that chapter. I think it starts at 13. So just so we're backing up our claims, if you want to write any of this down and fact check us.
Mm,
So why
yeah.
should I be a Christian? Metal fingers.
I mean, to be honest, low key, I think, in my perspective, it low key changed my life for the better, and low key made me a better person. But then again, because I was on a lot of BS before I was, and I did a lot of BS before I was.
But why should I
But
be a
then,
Christian? Me, the Bible guy. Why should I be a Christian?
I mean, I feel like in theology and finding out like your own philosophies and also believing and also praying and it just
What
I feel like it would
what go
probably make
pra-
you like
prayer?
happier or like
No, why?
Prayer and no,
Uh,
hold on. Prayer and meditation, when out separated from this, absolutely do have um, good effects. And when I say prayer, I mean like practicing gratitude or things like that. Like those aspects do have mental health benefits, but it doesn't have to be attached to Jesus to get those benefits. It's not necessary.
I mean you are completely right about that.
So why ought I be a Christian?
Low-key, I kind of I really don't have an argument for that. I
I'm
really
glad that it
don't know.
changed your life, and that you're choosing to. And in fact, you're one of the few Christians who've come up here and say, well, if the Bible says that, then it's still wrong. And I'm glad that you like changed. If you, it sounds like you were maybe doing some things that we would consider wrong or immoral, but I don't think that it's the God or Jesus that's doing these things. I think you might have some of your own moral guidance.
I mean, yeah, it could be that.
Yeah, because I mean, you're clearly not actually getting your morality from Jesus. Thank God, irony there. You are doing the same thing that we're doing. You want to be a good person, and you're trying to do your best to do the good. The thing is, you're just attributing your good to Jesus, when in reality, it's just middle fingers.
I mean, yeah, I mean it could be that.
You know, you could test this, right?
How so?
Yeah, you can do these things and say, well, until I have good evidence to believe in certain things, I'm just going to do the same stuff that I was doing before. And if you get the same results, then you don't need to believe in Jesus or this book in order to do the thing. You can just be a good person outside of that. So you can just ditch the thing. And if it's not working for you, then you can try something else. Like you sound pretty young. You're able to do that. And I also encourage you to read the book. Just read the text and for what it says, because I doubt, it sounds like you wouldn't agree with a vast majority of what's in it.
I mean, I've read it before. I still don't agree with the vast majority, but I just chalk that up to like the time period and people also putting their own agendas in it.
I mean, at that point, you can't trust what the Bible says then. If you think the Bible's been so corrupted, then you really can't trust it to tell you anything.
I mean, yeah, I mean, for the most part, I don't trust it. Like, especially the King James version. I especially do not trust it. I low-key despise the King James version. Like,
Same.
I really, yeah, like that low-key has to be like that is genuinely just heresy to me.
Well, I wouldn't use the word heresy. It's just a shit translation is all.
I mean, is to be honest, like if it's a translation of something that's supposed to be holy, and you're adding your own agendas and adding very
But
terrible translation,
you
that
have to
could
know
be
that the
considered
original
heresy.
Bible in and of itself is just a bunch of people's different agendas. Every author of the Bible had their own agenda when they wrote their particular works. The Bible is just the agenda of ancient men.
I mean, yeah, you are correct in that statement. It is just an agenda and different thought process and beliefs of different men combined into like one amalgamation.
Except for, I mean, it contradicts itself on some instances as well.
I mean, it does, but that also could be chalked up to like the different authors having different thought processes and beliefs in it.
Yeah, they have different beliefs about God and about Jesus, and they contradict each other. So the Bible would not be a very like reliable like tool for coming to any information on the nature of God.
Yeah. Yeah. I look
Hey, but hey, listen, it
Damn.
looks like I gave you a lot to think about. Maybe go off and read some more, do some more research, and call back into us later.
Alright, I got you.
All right. Bye.
Alright. Bye.
All right, we got Dreadlock here. Dreadlock. I'm gonna ask you 3 questions and then we'll get to the conversation. Question number 1. Are you at least 18 years old?
I'm 26.
Question number 2, what pronouns do you go by?
He, him.
And question number 3, are you a Christian?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, I am.
And real quick, face set in the comment section. We're not talking to Muslims today. We're talking to Christians. Learn boundaries. Anyways, Dreadlock, I'm Dalton the Bible Guy. This is Ashland. Why should I be a Christian?
Hello, Ashland. I think you should be a Christian because it's a very interesting. It's a very good starting point towards spirituality.
I don't think spirituality is good
Why not?
because it doesn't tell me anything real about the real world, as far as I can tell.
What does the real world look like to you?
Like the things that I'm able to observe and test, nature, the physical world. I don't even have a real reason to think that spirits even exist.
You're right. Do you not think that you can observe your thoughts?
Do I think I can observe my thoughts?
Yeah. Do you not think you can observe your thoughts?
I can.
Yeah, that's what spirituality is, bro. Observing your thoughts.
Thoughts are physical. They're just like pulses of in my brain.
Yeah, well, I guess they are, but that's what spirituality is: observing your thoughts.
Well, no, spirituality, by the meaning of the word, relates to the spirit, and I don't believe in spirits.
That's what we call them, bro. That's our understanding of it. But at the end of the day, what you're actually doing is observing your thoughts.
Nope, I can just do that with neurology. I can go get a CAT scan or something. I don't need spirituality.
If you think a scan can make you decide whether you go to the gym tomorrow or not, bro, I don't know what to tell you.
Spirituality is not going to tell me whether or not I need to go to a gym.
Oh, it
tomorrow.
does. It does.
It doesn't. I can just like go to a physician, and then they can tell me whether or not I should be going to the gym more often or not.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah, but it's. Sorry.
I'm back. What about the gym and God?
They think that spirituality is going to tell me whether or not someone needs to go to the gym or not.
No, I wasn't like being specifically about gym. It's like just anything, bro.
I can make decisions without spirituality.
Yes,
So-
you can 100%, but they're not necessarily your decisions, bro.
They are who else's decisions would they be?
Wait, where's the
For example-
evidence
for
that
example.
God is? Where's the evidence in
Bro, first of all, I never said anything about God. Okay, I
Okay.
said spirituality.
I don't
So
care
ask me
where.
questions about God.
I don't care if it's God or spirituality. Where is the evidence that spirituality increases the number of rates of good decisions or tells you what to do?
I don't even know why you're asking me that question. I never
Because-
said that it increased rates of anything. So
Then
I really don't know why you're
okay, here.
asking me.
What are you saying? Why should I be
answering,
spiritual?
I'm answering your question. That's what I'm saying, bro. I'm answering your question.
Okay, why should I be spiritual if I already make decisions that I'm making? Me, the Bible
Oh,
guy.
can I
make
can
my
I
own
explain?
decisions.
Can I explain to you how you don't make your own decisions?
Who else is making my decisions? Is Gandhi doing it?
You're following a script, bro.
I'm
We're all
not.
following
No.
scripts.
Where's my script
Okay,
at?
I know how decisions
bro,
are made.
from the moment
I generally know how decisions are made because I have a bachelor's degree in the subject of this. Like I have psychology with biopsychology, and nowhere in any of the curriculum did I learn about spirituality making decisions or guiding decisions for anyone, that we have any evidence for this. Generally, what happens is that our brain is an input and output system, and we're governed by a biopsychosocial model. That's what I learned. So
Isn't that
if
the
you're
script?
No, this isn't a script. This is
What is it?
evidence based.
No, but is that what you
what do
just
you-
mentioned?
what do you
Does
think-
does it not follow a script?
What?
It's not a script. I don't have
What
a,
is it?
There's nothing in front of me to have a script for. This is just where the evidence leads
Yeah,
us.
I know, but
What do you think
just
that? Wait. What do you think
explained,
that word?
just
What do you
explained.
think that word script means? I don't think you know what. What do you?
What
mean
you
by
okay?
this?
What did you just explain about psychologies?
The biopsychosocial model?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. Would you like me to go into detail so to show you that I'm not honest?
100%.
Yeah, biology are our DNA, our makeup, like hormones, our neurotransmitters, things like that in our body
Right.
that are, it's mostly like a lock and key model. Those types of things are going throughout the bottle. Then we have the psychology, and this kind of is that system in one other level, and it makes up how our brain kind of interacts, like our limbic system, our prefrontal cortex, our temporal lobes, things like those. And then we have sociology, and our sociology is that which is our culture, or the things around us, like our parents, our friends, our overall, our macro culture, like what nation you live in, and then what subnation or what area of the nation that you live in makes up our sociology. All those things put together make up an extremely complex system, and this system is what determines what decisions that we make, how we feel about those decisions, so on and so forth. This is not a script. This is just what the evidence says.
Yes. But wait. So that system, yeah. How is it governing our decisions?
On what level?
Like it's external influences, right? Not just.
Well,
That's
it
why I told him.
depends. It
That's why I told him
depends.
you are
So-
not
so
the one
some of us
making your
have-
decisions.
So,
It's
we
literally
agree.
external.
We're no, it's not all external. So
No, not
because
all, not all.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. So it is a biopsychosocial model, and bio and psycho are typically internal models, right? And when we look at external models, we're thinking of the sociology, and then we're thinking about just stimuli. So reward, motivation, memory, things like that, or reward and motivation, excuse me, that come from external sources, like you play a video game or things like that. Foods, certain foods, nicotine, alcohol, those are all external stimuli that produce endogenous and or exogenous like neuroactivity.
Yep.
So I don't get how spirituality plays into any of this.
Oh no, I at some point we will get there. Obviously, I can't explain to you everything in one.
But
go.
you're going to have to give us evidence, because everything that I've told you is evidence backed. That's how we know these things are things. Like operant
everything
conditioning.
I've told you, we agreed on as well.
Okay, so operant conditioning, we have plenty of data. Classical conditioning, we have plenty of data.
100%. I get you have data.
Okay,
but I
why
just, I
should
just,
I be
Bro,
a Christian?
bro,
I'm
bro,
gonna
why
bring
you
you. I'm
just
gonna.
in- bro,
I'm
why
gonna
you
bring you.
just
I'm gonna.
interrupt-
I'm
why you
gonna. I'm gonna bring.
interrupting
I'm
us,
gonna.
bro?
I'm
We're
gonna bring you.
literally
I'm gonna
speaking.
bring you back in. Why should I be a Christian?
Bro, but I'm literally having a conversation with her. Like, why just cut it off?
No, I agree. I've asked you for evidence. Like, why? What is the evidence
Like,
that being
do
spiritual
you-
or being Christian
bro,
will do
look,
this?
I came up for a conversation.
Can I try to
be
bridge the
honest.
gap here, Dread? Look, what's being said here is nothing unknown within like neurosciences, right? We understand through like the Libet experiment that antecedents like affect like readiness potential in the brain. We understand
your
all
friend,
of this.
your
okay?
friend doesn't
We
understand
hold on,
that
hold on,
'cause he
hold on,
thinks
hold
that
on.
he's
We also
all
understand.
object.
We also
Okay.
understand that
No, your friend doesn't
metacognition.
understand shit.
Okay, just calm down. We also understand that metacognition, which you referred to as spirituality, which is just the ability to think about thinking, isn't necessarily unique to humans, right? So just to bridge this gap here, what does any of these facts about the neuroscience and psychology have to do with the Christian God existing?
Now you can unmute yourself. I muted you.
Okay. So, bro, in this life, everything is about perspective. What you call neuroscience, some people call spirituality,
No.
but it's literally the same thing.
No, it's not.
Okay,
It's really not.
you may call it that, but it's not how definitions work. When we make definitions,
Okay.
yeah, you could call the chair a Bob Squabbit, but no one would recognize what you were saying.
it's just
That's
idiosyncratic
true.
when you
That's
equivocate
true.
on those terms, right?
That is true because no one ever learns to see a chair as a box squat. I
I
guess.
am more atheist now than I was at the beginning of this conversation. You're making me want to be a Christian less and less by the
bro,
second.
if you're
Would you
atheist,
give me
that's
would you
that's
give me
your
an
choice, bro.
argument? Could you give me Yeah, I made a choice. No spirituality
exactly.
required. No spirituality required. Now, why should I be
Actually,
a
bro,
Christian? Why should I be a Christian?
because it's a good starting point to spirituality.
I don't think spirituality is not a goal of mine. Why should
Then,
spirituality?
then, if spirituality is not a goal of yours, you don't. Why are you even asking this question, bro?
Because I'm not convinced spirits. If you can give me a reason to think that spirits exist,
Bro,
then maybe
if
I
you
would
have
become
no
more spiritual.
interest in it, then
I'm
don't.
interested in the truth. I'm interested
No,
in the
you're
truth,
not, bro.
but you don't seem to
I'm
be
t-
able to give me a way of getting to the truth.
You're interested in the truth, and you listen to what you've been told from the time you was a kid.
Hey,
No, I don't. That's why.
Dread,
You
That's why I'm
listen
not.
to all the
if
lies
I
you've been
if I
told
listen
from
to
the
no
moment you were a
wait.
kid.
If I listen to the things I've been told since I was a kid, I would still be a fucking Christian. Because what I was told from a kid is that I should believe in Jesus. I don't believe the things I've just been told since I was a kid. That's why I'm an
Those were
atheist
lies
now.
as well, bro. They were lies
Wait,
as
Christianity
well.
Christianity is a lie.
Of course, bro. There's so much lies in Christianity.
oh my fucking god. Sticks, thank you for using more technical terms. I try not to with these guests.
Yeah, it's like they want to talk about the technical stuff, but they don't want to talk about it in any substantive way.
Exactly. That's why I use like literally the most basic way possible to framing this information, because I was a TA in college, and if you don't do that, I swear to God, they look at you and their eyes glaze over.
Mary, I'm going to ask you 3 questions and then we'll get to the conversation. Question number 1, are you at least 18?
Yes.
Question number 2, what pronouns do you go by?
I am a she, her. I'm a girl.
And question number 3, are you a Christian?
Yes.
All right. Why should I be a Christian? And please talk about Christianity.
Okay, so just from a human standpoint, to live this whole life and not think that this whole life would be worth living an afterlife would kind of feel void.
What
Lacking.
what if I told you, Mary, that I have no desire whatsoever to go to heaven? It sounds awful to me.
Yeah, that's fair and that's your choice. I think that everybody has so many things, like things that you're born into, religiously wise, whether it be, Catholic, Baptist, Pentecost. There's like dozens and dozens, hundreds of religions out there. It's so easy to
I
think.
have no desire
can't-
for immortality. When I
Yeah,
eventually pass, I just want to pass.
yeah.
Why?
But you know what? I think
But Mary,
that's
even if what you're
fair.
saying is true, even if what you're saying
Yeah,
is true,
that's
that
fair.
like if what you're saying is true, that like, look, the belief in this brings comfort and joy or whatever, that doesn't mean that the belief is true, right? So like there might be utility in believing it, I grant that, but that doesn't mean it's true. You can believe something that makes you feel good that is false. We're wanting to find out, like, why should I be a Christian from the sense of it being true?
Yeah.
So
Like, yeah.
I
Like,
think that if you're so a lot of people that want to believe in nothing, that it's a lie to actually believe that you don't believe in nothing, because most people
I,
that believe in it.
I've never made the claim that I believe in nothing. I believe in
Well, I'm just saying, do
I
you
believe
believe
in
in science?
yeah, I believe in the sense that I accept science because it's demonstrable. I just don't
Yeah,
believe in
like
things
do you
that haven't
believe in
been
history?
Yep, because it's demonstrable. I don't believe in
Okay.
things that haven't been demonstrated to me to be true though.
So there are things within the Bible in particular that can be like through artifacts and through other findings be factual.
And there are
Mary.
things in the
Have
Bible,
happened.
and there are things in the Bible that through archaeology and through artifacts we demonstrate that the Bible isn't true in some instances.
Well, I do also want to say that history and like something like evolution are not in the same ball field or ballpark or whatever for showing that like this is true. Like when some aspects of history are present, like a lot of these we just don't have enough information on, and it's not like we can make truly novel predictions. Some of it we can, but some of the things that we call like facts in history that maybe you think of, are not actually facts in history. They're just kind of best guesses. Now, there are other things that we can make novel predictions, like where to find certain artifacts and stuff like that. This is my best understanding. I'm not a historian, but like history is not exactly on the same playing field as more of our what we call hard sciences, and I really don't like that term, but I think it best represents this. So it's not like biology where we can consistently look at cells and see something that's happening, right? A lot of the stuff in this is about arguments on like what language is being used and what time periods in like carbon dating would be a good example of something a little more hard science in history. So history is kind of this broad field that isn't on the same plane as like evolution.
Yeah, I guess my question is because I'm coming in here probably later, and I've actually never seen you guys as individual like accounts or conversations. Is all three of you guys, do you guys all three come from some type of religious background when you were younger, and then you grew up and decided you didn't want that anymore?
So, well, it wasn't about wanting. So I grew up Christian, and then I had a desire to prove to Jewish people that Jesus was the Messiah. So I learned Hebrew and I learned the Old Testament, only to find out that Jesus didn't fulfill any prophecies from the Old Testament, and that the New Testament often misquoted the Old Testament in order to make it look like Jesus was the Messiah. So I left Christianity for Judaism, but then I started to learn more about the Hebrew Bible itself. And when I found out that the Hebrew Bible also contained scientific and historical inaccuracies, contradictions, and failed prophecies, I had to leave that. And I was a deist for a while, and then I realized I just didn't have any good reason to believe in a God in general, so I became an atheist.
What about you, Ashton?
Yeah, I grew up in what would probably be described as Southern Baptist, but it had a little discrepancies about that I learned later on. I was pretty young when I stopped really truly believing. I don't think I remember a time where I truly believed, but I'm the only atheist in my entire family, so.
And what about, is Stick still on here?
Sticks?
Might have lost him. I think that why should I be a Christian? If you're asking that, the question is, why would you want to be a Christian? Like, why would you want somebody to convince you to be a Christian?
Well, I want to believe as many true things as possible and to disbelieve as many false things as possible. So if it turns out Christianity is true, I would like to know about it.
So if you've already done a lot of things and through your own research and science, and your own life experience, believe that it's not true and that you've made that choice, that in itself is the basis of Christianity, because the Bible in specific said it's called to each person individually to sort out one's own salvation, one's own belief.
But no, it
That's
also
in
said
there.
so
if you've sorted it out and you
that's
don't
incorrect.
believe it, then that's okay.
That's a really bad way of thinking. Like, I shouldn't just lean on myself. I need to. The only way I can come to the knowledge about the truth value of certain things is by leaning on others and having people help me by giving me information. That's why Jesus said to the disciples to go out and make disciples of all nations, because I can't come to a knowledge of everything on my own. Maybe I missed something, and the only way I can know if I missed something is if someone else who has a different perspective is able to bring me a good argument I haven't heard before.
Yeah, sure. And I'm like that. It's like, that's why I've gone to church, not gone to church throughout my life. Sometimes I feel like I'm able to understand what I need, get what I need, and have the relationship with God that I need. And other times I need somebody else, a teacher, somebody that studies the word in a different perspective to deliver that to me, to get my mind and my thinking and my relationship with God thinking in a different area. That's one thing that church does for me. But for you, I feel like it's tough because you obviously grew up, you're obviously seeking something. You don't want to believe nothing. So what it sounds like if you're asking the question.
It's impossible to believe nothing. The only way you can believe nothing is if you're dead.
Exactly. Oh, I'm glad you're one of the rare atheists that say that.
I don't know
My
anything.
cousin is atheist, and she's like, there's just nothing We're born,
But
we don't ask
they
to be born,
they
and then
prob
we die and life is
well,
over.
they probably mean that there's no supernatural. If you ask your
Yeah,
cousin if
she doesn't believe
Australia,
in that either.
yeah, I bet you ask your cousin, does Australia exist? They'd say yes. So they do believe some things.
Yeah, they have to believe she only believes things that she can physically see, touch, and hear with her own eyes.
Well, probably not that either. Your cousin hasn't.
Probably not.
Yeah, has your cousin been to Australia?
Out of touch with reality. You're probably right.
I mean, I believe we as atheists generally we believe in things that we have good evidence to believe in. The problem is, as far as I know, because no one's done it yet, no one has any good evidence for Christianity being true.
Yeah, the only evidence that I have is that all the other religions, the deity in which they is the whole precipice of like what they believe, all of those people have a gravesite that you can attend to, and if they were to dig it up, there would be a body. And in Christianity, Jesus is the only
Really?
person that they weren't able to dig up his body.
Where is the body of Apollonius of Tyana?
I don't know that one. What religion is that?
Yeah, he was Greek, and the people there was ancient stories where people believe that Apollonius was able to perform miracles, and that he could raise the dead, and that even after he died, that his body disappeared, and that he ascended into heaven, and that he rose from the dead. We don't know where the body of Apollonius is,
Poseidon.
but also it's been 2000.
Poseidon could still be in the sea.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
It's been 2000. It's been 2000 years. If we wouldn't find a body for Jesus, we would find bones, and it'd be hard to distinguish one pile of bones from another. Also, if it turns out that the Talpia tomb is authentically the tomb of Jesus, then we do have in fact found the bones of Jesus. There was a tomb discovered in
for you too. Did you live in Israel at some point?
No.
No. So, but you were around obviously in the Jewish belief, which that's tough too, because that probably created a lot of honest confusion for you too, because they're still awaiting the Messiah's return, like for his first
that's
getting crucified.
Yeah, not getting crucified, but that's because Jesus doesn't actually fulfill any prophecies from the Old Testament. When you read the Hebrew Bible, the Jewish Bible, in its original language and context, it becomes quite clear that Jesus didn't do any of the things the Messiah was supposed to do, and that the New Testament constantly makes up things about Jesus and misquotes the Old Testament to make Jesus look as if he did things that the Messiah was supposed to do.
Like I was just part of a group earlier today where they were discussing that we as people, doesn't matter what your religion is, Christianity or not, that we're living in the new heaven right now.
Yeah, that's a quote from the fact the Bible didn't come to pass the way it came to be. So
yeah, the whole thing was we're already living here, we're already in the new earth, new heaven, and that whenever any of us die, we all are just returned to source, which is our source is God. So I guess even going along that basis, like, do you believe that do you believe that you have a spirit or a soul? And do you think that after you die, your spirit or soul will go somewhere?
I've never been given any good evidence of a spirit or soul existing. The irony is that the soul is one of the most dead concepts in philosophy. Like, there's nothing that we used to attribute to the soul that we can't now attribute to the brain.
I guess it's just tough because if you don't, I guess it would be hard to convince somebody that is an atheist why they would want to be a Christian if you don't think that you have a soul.
Well, if you had evidence for a soul, that would convince me.
Like something beyond just the internal, your brain creating some type of conscious. If you've never felt or had a living experience, I guess that's the main difference. Is unless I've lived a life of a Christian being a Christian just because it was what I was raised and taught. Went and did my own thing for a long time, kind of questioned everything for a little bit, and then realized under my own living experience. You know, have you ever gone through something where you thought, like, this is the hardest thing I've ever gone through. There's no help that can be given by any other person. And you pray about it, and then help comes, and then it's like an awakening happens in your life. If you've never experienced something like that, it's
about,
very hard for
wait a
you to
minute,
think that there's something outside yourself.
and what about all the people who pray and that no help comes? Children
Well,
and
I'm one of those people.
they're-
I'm one
they're-
of those people. I've been sick for 6 years, and
So what-
I've prayed that God takes my sickness
Wait,
away every day, and He doesn't.
What's the difference then between, like, it seems like prayers are being answered at the same rate as chants? That you can flip a coin, or you can, like, if you had like one of those magic 8 balls and you asked for a prayer and then you shook it, you're just as likely to get a yes or no from the magic 8 ball as you are from God.
I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, even me myself, like, I have wondered, God, do you not love me? Do you not care? All of these things, because I have still honored you, and I trust that you are good and you want good for my life. How come my chronic illness won't go away? And through that, actually, through that, I've actually drawn it. I had a period where I actually felt like He doesn't listen, He doesn't care, right? But then I've actually seen with my own life where He actually does. And I've seen certain aspects where I had to change the script in my own life. I had to change the story of my life.
But again, how do we know that this is God actually answering prayers versus that, like, literally, this is just how do you know that if the prayer hadn't been prayed, that the effect still wouldn't have happened?
Well, I wouldn't know because I did.
Yeah, exactly. You can't show me that God is actually answering prayers. All you can show me is that things are happening. If it happened that every time you prayed, it always came to pass, that would be evidence that prayer actually is actually working, that a God is actually, like, answering prayers. But when the prayers happen and don't happen at the same rate as chance, then it looks like it's just chance.
Yeah, I mean, do you believe those stories of when people say they died and they went to heaven and they come back?
Those are near-death experiences, and you want to know what a near-death experience is not? It's not a death experience. They don't actually die. And we've never had an actual person die, have brain death, and come back from that. Every person who's had an NDE is someone who is still alive. Their brain is starved of oxygen. And what is the brain going to do when it's starved of oxygen? What do you think?
Yeah, well, I know the brain, my particular chronic illness involves the autonomic nervous system, which means it doesn't communicate with itself properly, involving my breathing, all different types of body, all the things that you don't think about running right now for your own body, your breathing, your thinking, your blood pressure, your heart rate. Mine got sick. It just got sick, and it doesn't communicate properly. Really sucks. There's no cure.
You know, the brain will also, if you're on the verge of dying, will just pump a lot of drugs into itself, and that can cause you to hallucinate and feel all kinds of things.
Well, that's what my husband says about some of these people that have near-death experiences, that they say that they were, seeing Jesus or something. But then I've also, through, again, my own living experience, witnessed multiple of grandparents passing, and then being in a nursing home where hospice comes in, and those people start sharing stories of stuff that other people go through. And those experiences seem quite super, like that they're seeing something beyond this world.
Or is it that we exist in a shared culture where we have a shared conception of what the afterlife would be like? And so that informs our hallucinations. So of course that when multiple people in a shared culture have NDEs, that of course their experiences are going to be similar to one another. But we also have experiences that are completely different. We have near-death experiences that are completely contradictory. We've had Christians who have near-death experiences and they will see Jesus. Catholics specifically will sometimes see the Blessed Virgin Mary. Jewish people will see Jewish rabbis who were not believers in Jesus in heaven. Muslims will see Islamic, Hindus will see Krishna. It seems like these are all these near-death experiences are just our brains playing tricks on us.
Yeah, I don't know if I would be able to convince you. Like I said, I feel like why should I be a Christian? For me, I've lived my life without not even just the word Christian. I've lived my life without leaning on or wanting to have God in my life as a relationship. and I've experienced what it's like having him as in my life with a relationship, and it's dramatically
The
different.
thing is, I'm not convinced that you actually do have a relationship with God. If he
Oh,
doesn't,
I absolutely do.
well,
He gives me
if
hope
he,
every day.
well, the idea of God gives you hope. If your God doesn't exist, then he can't do anything for you. And I'm not convinced that he exists. The idea, you have an idea of God in your mind, and perhaps that can serve as a placebo and give you hope. But I don't have any real reason to think that your God actually does exist.
Well, for me also, I know that God does exist. Like I said,
How?
by multiple different things. Just personally, my son has had like 3 different like near death experiences. He almost drowned.
But we already know
Something.
why. But we know why
Well,
near-death experiences happen.
Well, this is the thing. It wasn't a near death experience. He was literally drowning, and my children couldn't reach him. He was in a pond drowning. My kids couldn't reach him. He was 2 years old. And when my father got to him, literally his jacket was being pulled up as if something was holding him up out of the water with his little head above the water. That is not
It sounds
nothing.
like you're about to make it. Well, I'm not going to say it's nothing, but I don't have any good reason to think it's a God until you give me a reason to. At best, what you're going to get to there is an argument from ignorance, like I don't know what it is, therefore it must have been God. But you haven't ruled out every single possible unknown natural explanation because they're unknown.
It wasn't a life jacket that he had on. To the people
Or
in the
or
comments,
air
he just had
air
on a little like
air air
winter jacket.
air pockets stuck in his clothing. His body might not be might be a bit more buoyant. There's literally any number of things it could possibly be. The last thing I'm going to come to the conclusion of is that it's a God. I don't get to say that God is the explanation for anything until I know that the God exists.
Well, I guess I just feel bad. I feel bad because personally for myself, like I just said, I only know my own personal life experience, and it would feel lonely, honestly, if I thought that
I
there was no afterlife. I want to
Why?
see my loved ones. I want to see
Why
the
don't you
people
have
that.
people? You don't have any people in your life? Why would it be
No, but
lonely? I'm not lonely.
is there anyone in your life that you wish and hope to see again?
Again?
Friends, family, something?
Sure,
Yeah.
but that doesn't make me feel not lonely. I have people in my life right now that keep me from being lonely.
No, but I'm talking about people that you've lost in your life, like through
I'd
death,
also
they're gone.
I'd also like to have $1 billion in my bank account, but liking for something to be true doesn't make it so. It's not a good reason to believe that it's true.
I guess if you just don't have any reason to long for that,
I
then
long
there
no,
would be no.
I do long for it. I don't have any reason to think it's true.
I guess that's the part I'm trying to say is that if somebody's already made their mind up, there's nothing that I could possibly say.
Well, nope. You could provide evidence that your near-death experiences isn't just your brain.
Even just using the Bible, any verses that I use within the Bible,
Well,
you would definitely just debunk. You wouldn't care to know.
well, since the Bible contains scientific errors, historical errors, contradictions, and prophecies that failed, yeah, the Bible's not very good evidence for God. It's evidence against God. Like, why should I believe that book when it has all those problems?
I don't know.
Well, it
Yeah, I
doesn't
guess
look
I'm
doesn't-
sorry. I don't have a convincing argument of why you should be a Christian other than what I'm believing is right and if what I'm believing is right and what I'm believing is wrong, there'd be a consequence or not a consequence either way, and I rather believe what I believe because I don't want the consequence of the other.
Well, I mean, you could still end up in hell as you are right now.
Not if we're on the new earth and then we're already here in the new heaven,
But we're not,
according to
though.
the other guy.
But we're not. up.
according to Josh from the
Yeah.
earlier
Josh is
thing. I'm
definitely
already in heaven. I'm already in
Josh-
heaven.
Josh is
And so are
100%.
you.
Oh, then there is no afterlife. Fantastic. There's no one to
Oh,
wait for
no.
us.
No, there would be. We return to source, like he says.
Oh, well, that's nothing.
The temple is the body. That's right. Temple is
Yeah.
heaven. Our body is the temple of heaven already.
Yeah, that sounds like nothing. But anyways, I think I'm going to move on to the next guest. Thank you for calling up. All right, we're gonna bring up Only Exist Online. But before we do, I'm gonna read the super chat from @Carlos Valdez with the 100 pesos. Hey there, enjoying the stream. Saludos. Good to see you, mi amigo. Thank you for the super chat. Only Exist Online. I'm gonna ask you 3 preliminary questions, and then we'll get to the conversation. Question number 1: Are you at least 18 years old?
Yes.
Question number 2: What pronouns do you go by?
She, her.
All right. And question number 3: Are you a Christian?
Yes.
All right. I'm Dalton, the Bible guy. Why should I be a Christian?
Hi, I'm Hayden. It's nice to meet you, first of all. Okay, so first I'm going to just bring up, I can't convince you, listening to the last lady, I can't convince you that God is real. I don't have a photo of him. Like, obviously, we can't see him. But I can convince you why you should be Christian. So first, I'm going to bring up some evidence. Well, I might not be able to convince you. I can try. First, I'm going to bring up some hard evidence. The National Institute of Health did a study in 2017, and someone who is religious is by the study, someone who is religious is more happy than someone who is not.
I don't care
I'm
about
going to
that.
explain. Well, you said
Here-
why should
here-
the
here,
question is why should you be a Christian?
Let me tell you this.
Christian is a religion. Okay.
I will never be convinced to be Christian based on like it being more pragmatic or whatever. The only
Okay.
thing that's going to convince me to be Christian is whether or not Christianity is true, as in Jesus was the Messiah, the Son of God, resurrected from the dead, performed miracles, that the Bible is true.
Okay. Well, the Bible, first of all, I don't even necessarily say the Bible, like everything that's in the Bible is true, and that's because all of the Bibles are mainly from King James. That's why a lot of them are so evil. The King James version.
Only one
That's
Bible is from King James. The King James
no,
Bible.
he rewrote so many a lot of versions were rewritten.
Nope. Just
Yeah, you can look that up.
the Bishop's Bible was revised to create the King James version, but like William Tyndale had his own Bible, wasn't made by King James. The Vulgate, not made by King James. My Bible, the New Revised Standard Version, updated edition, made by a modern day committee of people, not by King James. The only Bibles
Okay, well, a lot
that
of
are really
okay.
inspired by King Jimmy would be the King James Bible, the New King James Bible, and the Modern English Version, and that's it.
Okay, well, so then the Bibles that I have read have been from King James. So that point, sorry, that's irrelevant to me, I guess. Now I'm going to move on to some more anecdotal like points. So
You think anecdotal points are going to be really good reasons for me to become a Christian?
yes, or maybe for someone else in this live that
Am I going to be able to independently verify any of your stories?
I guess not, but you
Then
can
let's skip
trust
that.
what I'm saying.
No.
Well,
We'll skip that and get to
anecdotal evidence. Well, I can tell you
we don't allow for anecdotal evidence on the show
why.
because it's not.
That's how
it's not going to be useful
religion.
to us.
Well, that is useful because
It's not useful
religion
to
is
me.
personal experiences.
If
Being a Christian,
the
people are Christian because
fun fact about your personal experiences, I didn't personally experience them. Therefore,
Okay.
I cannot tell you and tell whether or not what you're saying is true, whether or not you're lying to me, or whether or not you're just misremembering things. Like you wouldn't know if you misremember something. I need something
well,
that
I can 100% tell you.
I don't believe you.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you,
No,
and then
you're not.
we can
Wait,
reassess
wait,
it.
nope. Wait. Do you understand what consent is?
Yes, I very, very much do.
If a man told if a man was trying to get with you and you said no, and he said, "Well, I'm going to do it anyways," what would you think about that?
Well, I've experienced that, and
You didn't like it,
not
did
a
you?
good thing.
Yeah,
No, of course I
okay.
didn't.
So don't do that. When I say no anecdotal evidence, no means no.
Okay, right. But you are not allowing me to share. Religion is what every single person individually
No
goes through. That's how a
means
religion is made.
no.
That's how a
No,
religion is made. Is
no
from what someone
means
goes through.
no.
So
That's me
what I'm
spraying your
getting from
face.
this is no matter what I try and tell you,
No, you
you
can
are
just
not going to
no.
believe.
You
So
can just
why? I don't understand the point of you coming up here and debating.
you can give me evidence that's not anecdotal. Do you not have evidence that's not anecdotal? Is that what you're trying to tell me in the audience? Is that all of your evidence is going to be personal testimony and anecdotal evidence? Is
That's
that all
what
you have?
testimony. Okay,
Is that all you have?
testimony comes from religion,
I don't care
right?
about testimony.
So,
Do you have anything better than testimony?
well, I gave you the article and you said that that wasn't true. I cannot, there is no evidence. Like I literally said this right
is
when
no
I go on.
evidence.
I do not have a picture of God. I can't show you a picture of God. I can't say, oh, here's God right here. No, that's not possible because he is obviously bigger than us. That's a whole thing. What I'm trying to explain to you.
Sorry, what was that?
What I'm trying to explain to you is that religion, right? If I'm religious, I believe in God because of what I have been through, and because you have not been through that, that's okay.
Am
But
I
I can
going to be
explain
am
to
I
you.
going to be able to independently verify any of the bullshit you're telling me?
By my story, yes.
No,
Yes.
how am I going to be able to independently verify it without just taking your word
Why
for
would
it?
I lie? Why?
It doesn't have to be a lie.
Would I
You
come
could
up
just
here
be
and lie?
misremembering. And you
Wha-
wouldn't
how-
know.
I'm pretty sure I don't misremember a lot of the things. I know I do
I
not.
know
I
for
do
a
not
fact that you
misremember my testimony. I
Yeah,
know for a fact I have not
you could very well
misremember
be.
my testimony.
So just
No,
to be
I know
clear,
for a fact
just to be
I haven't.
clear, you don't have any non-anecdotal evidence. Is that what you're about to tell us? If you don't, I can just move on.
Who would have anecdotal evidence? I mean, non-anecdotal evidence of God. Who would have
So-
that? You cannot have a picture of God.
I didn't ask
You
for a
cannot-
picture.
That's not possible.
I didn't ask for a picture of God.
Okay, sorry, non-anecdotal. So it didn't come from me. It came from someone else, or that it came from an outside source.
So just
There
be
is
clear.
there
Just
is
be
not
clear.
evidence of God.
Yes or
That's
yes,
why. That's
yes
why we're
or
sitting here
no.
debating.
Yes or no.
Oh
Is
my
all your
gosh.
evidence going to be anecdotal?
Oh my gosh.
Yes or no?
Yes, because that's what a testimony is.
All right. Well, thank you for letting me know that I shouldn't waste my time with you. My God, that says that she understands what consent is, continues to push herself on me like that. The fuck? Anyways. Real faith conversations. I'm going to ask you 3 preliminary questions, and then we'll get to the conversation. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old?
I am.
Question number 2, what pronouns do you go by?
I'm he, him.
You might want to get a little bit closer to the mic. You're kind of a little bit muffled.
Can you hear me now? Is that better?
Yes. And
Is
question
that
number
better?
3,
Great.
are you a Christian?
I am.
All right. I'm Dalton, the Bible guy. Why should I be a Christian?
Cool. Yeah, well, I'm going to circle back to that maybe, but first, going back to the conversation you had before this, lady, you were talking about there's no evidence for the soul, I believe you were talking about near-death experiences, and I'm assuming you're not familiar with Pam Reynolds. Have you looked into the Pam Reynolds case, or not really?
Nope.
Okay, cool. Well, Dalton, thanks for having a great conversation. I'll just share one thing that I think is super fascinating is the Pam Reynolds case. I really encourage all of your viewers, you to check it out, because it is actually an instance where she was going through a surgery. It was a very rare surgery where they completely drain all of the blood from the brain for brain surgery. Are you familiar with that?
Nope.
Okay, well, you can Google this. This is by doctors. It's very well researched, and there's evidence for it. And so they did this surgery. They put in earplugs, right? They taped her eyes shut. They literally drained the blood out of her brain, and they put her body into an ice bath. And there's a lot of more details in there. But all that being said, she is scientifically, medically speaking, dead, right?
Is she
And
brain
so
dead?
there was no heartbeat.
She brain
Yeah,
dead?
her brain was not functioning.
Let
That's
me
what it was.
see.
Yeah, you can Google it. Yeah. So medically speaking, she was dead. And the thing that's really interesting is,
I'm
again,
seeing here.
there's a bunch of points in there.
I'm seeing here. No, this is one of the biggest misconceptions about Pam Reynolds' case. Pam Reynolds was not brain dead in the medical or legal sense. She underwent deep hypothermic circulatory arrest, where her body temperature was lowered to about 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Her heart was intentionally stopped. Blood circulation was temporarily halted. Her EEG became electrically silent, indicating no detectable cortical electrical activity. Brainstem function was also profoundly suppressed by the hypothermia. However, brain death is something different. Brain death is the irreversible cessation of all functions of the entire brain, including the brainstem. A person who's brain dead cannot recover. Reynolds recovered fully from the procedure because the cessation of brain activity was intentional, temporary, and reversible. She was not brain dead.
Okay, well, I'll concede that she was not that brain dead in the way you're explaining it. However, you can't deny that she was literally unconscious. She was not able to hear anything because her ears were plugged, her eyes were taped shut, and she yet was able to describe the very instruments that the doctors were using. She said she came out of her body, she watched the whole thing happen, and she described their conversations. And so that, I believe, is good evidence for a spiritual realm, for a soul, however you want to define it. Scientifically speaking, okay, maybe hypothetically she's not
I
to
too
the
have
point of dead that you want her to be dead, but she is dead.
I too have
So,
watched Grey's Anatomy.
yeah, unfortunately, this is not a show. It was an actual surgery. So, all that being said, I think that's good evidence for a spiritual realm.
Is
And
it?
I really encourage all of your listeners. Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of people that look into it.
That doesn't sound very convincing.
You're kidding me. Like, she recounted conversations
To
while
what
there was no blood
what
flow.
in what detail? Again, she wasn't brain dead though.
Yeah, but she's like got her ears plugged and her eyes taped shut, and there's no electrical functioning going on in the brain.
To what
And
extent
you
was
really
she able
think
to
that that's
recount the information said to her?
the doctors and the physicians in the room said it was astoundingly remarkable. So that's being said, I mean, she's recounting what they actually talked about. She's recounting
And this
instruments
convinced you
that they
that
have never
souls
seen.
exist.
I think that it's good scientific evidence that it is there. It's logically consistent that she has
And how did you
overheard a conversation.
And how did you rule out any other possible natural explanation?
Okay, well, you tell me. How does somebody whose eyes
No,
are taped shut, ears are...
I'm not gonna sit here and make an argument from ignorance like you. Like, I don't know, therefore it must be spirits.
Yeah, they put plugs in her ears that would block out the noise so they could send a clicking noise in through it. And you can look all of this up. But it's literally physically impossible for somebody to recount a conversation.
And how do we know that she didn't hear something after the event? And that she's misremembering as if it was while she was under? And she's gaslighting herself into thinking that she heard this while she was under?
Because the doctors verified it. And that's the thing. It wasn't just her testimony.
Yeah,
It was multiple independent sources.
That she didn't hear what the doctor said after the fact? They said the same thing after the fact? She heard it?
Because the doctors said that she was not present in the room when the conversation happened awake. Right?
Later, they repeated the same thing later. She overheard it. They weren't aware. And her brain misremembered it as if she heard it in her while she was unconscious.
Well, I mean, I would need to look up the exact detail. I mean, we can do that right now if you want to, but I don't have her conversation memorized of what they went through. But I'm saying the doctor said that did not happen. So that's what I've researched. That's what I've read.
No, that's not very convincing. I'll look more into it later. But
all right. I encourage you to do that because I think it is good evidence.
Do you have anything better for Christianity?
I think morality is also a good point. I think that there's no grounding for morality apart from a God.
What? No. You have subjective morality. I have subjective morality.
But how can you say that one thing is wrong?
Yeah, wrong is a shorthand term, which means non-conducive towards a goal. That's what
You're
that's what
talking
wrong
about.
means.
Okay, well,
The
how can
question is
you
the question is what is
objectively
the
say that
goal?
there's something wrong?
Well, yeah, if you pick a goal and like for example, it's like chess. The rules of chess we made them up, right?
Okay,
But once we
I hear what
agree
you're
as to
saying.
once we agree on the rules of chess though, we can make objective statements about whether or not a move is legal or illegal. If you and I share a goal, like let's say well-being and fairness, then we can objectively say, well, this action is non-conducive or wrong, non-conducive toward the goal of well-being.
So it's basically for the benefit of human flourishing is your argument. Is that correct? You're saying it's best for humanity socially.
To the best of our
That's how we
ability.
come up with morality.
Yeah, well-being and fairness. It's better than just whenever the God says goes, because that's how you end up like justifying all kinds of evil stuff. Like for example,
Well, I mean, Hitler and the other
killing-
people, and Mussolini, and all those
Hitler
guys thought what was best for
blamed-
them.
Hitler we know what Hitler was inspired by to perform the final solution.
That's a common misconception. But I think Pol Pot is also another good example. Atheism, right? I mean, that guy.
Atheists and
killed
Christians have
millions.
both done shitty things in the past. The thing is about atheism, there isn't a creed or anything you can point to that says like this is what you should do. In Christianity, though, like if you were brought back in time and you heard the prophet Samuel say to King Saul, "I want you to go into the city and kill everyone, including the babies," I would say no. What would you
But
say?
why? Give me a grounding for that.
Because
why would you say no?
Why would I kill a baby? What did the baby do to deserve to
But
be
you have no
killed?
reason to tell me
I do
not
have
to
a
do
reason.
that, or
My reason,
just because you feel
my,
like it.
my
That's
reason,
subjective.
my reason is because I don't think that innocent babies deserve to be killed. Would you do it?
But why? But why? Tell me why.
That is
You
the
feel
why.
that way, but other people feel different. That's just your subjective experience.
it's like
you have no
it's-
ground for it.
Yours is also subjective. You're aware of that, right?
So if I feel, and 51% of the population of my country feels like it's okay to kill babies,
That
then
would
it should
suck.
be okay.
That would suck. I still would disagree with it. I wouldn't think it would be okay. I would still
But
disagree
you
with
have
it.
no
'cause
reason to disagree with it.
because the thing that I ground my morality on is fairness and well-being. So even if 99% of people said that killing babies was fine, I would disagree with it because my grounding is on fairness and well-being, and that would be non-conducive to fairness and well-being.
Well, 99% of the population says I feel better about it, and it would produce well-being because then I don't have to deal with babies. So then,
Yeah, I
why
would
is
still.
that
I
not
would.
acceptable
I
to
would
them?
still. Is it conducive or non-conducive to the fairness and well-being of the baby?
Well, that's relative. Why does the baby matter in that
Can you
instance?
can you provide an
Hold on.
argument?
Hold on. I have a ability to drive this to a contradiction. Real, do you think that someone should have been able to kill you as a baby?
Well, because of my Christian ethics, no.
I don't care. No. Could someone kill you as a baby? Yes or no?
Oh yeah, somebody could kill me as a baby. Of course, that could
No,
happen.
no. I mean, would it be moral to do so?
Because God says it is not supposed to be done. No, that would not be a moral act.
So it's based on God.
If you
Yes
were,
or no?
Yes,
Okay.
my
So
morality
it,
is murder is wrong because of God says it's
Oh,
wrong.
it wouldn't be murder.
yeah, that wouldn't. In this case, then, when you're looking at it, then it would be okay if you weren't Christian to kill you. Yes or no?
It would be okay if I wasn't Christian to kill me.
As a baby.
No,
yeah.
because I think the moral law of God applies to all people regardless of their morality or their personal preferences.
So in some cases, then, if God says it's okay, it would be okay to kill you.
Yes, because he
Yeah,
is God. Inherently, he created the world. He has
If
authority
we
over the world.
if we teleported your soul into the body of an Amalekite baby, would you want to be killed by the Israelites?
I mean, I think that's, obviously not. But at the same time, God is God. I am not. And so
do you think
he's
you
the
would
one
be
who gets to
deserving
decide.
of that killing?
I believe that God is a just God. And I think
What-
that
what-
you have no
what-
justice,
what-
which
what
is
would
really
make-
the
what makes
core
it just?
issue.
Wait.
Wait.
Injustice.
No.
Do innocent people get punished?
It would be just to kill you, but you wouldn't want it?
Of course, there's plenty of things that a criminal gets, justice. He's
But
thrown
what
in
did
jail.
you
Of course
do
he
to
doesn't
deserve
wanna have
it?
justice.
Yeah.
But
Don't you?
what did
wait,
you do to deserve it?
Do you think that innocent people should not be punished.
Yes, but no one is innocent, and that's the key
Wait,
difference
the
in your
a baby
philosophy.
just born is not innocent? What do they do?
Well, I mean, I just ask you again, like, why is it wrong? You know, you
Well,
can't justify to me why it's wrong for them to kill a baby.
Now you're trying to run away. What did the baby do to make them not innocent? I believe in innocent until proven guilty. What did the baby do to deserve to get slaughtered?
I'm not saying that the baby did anything. This is a hypothetical.
So the baby's
situation, just to
innocent.
be clear.
So wait,
I'm not.
no, it's not
for
hypothetical. It's not
the slaughtering
hypothetical.
of babies,
It's
just
not
to be clear.
it's not hypothetical. In your Bible, the
Ju-
Israelites
justice-
wiped out babies. Amalekite
Justice is
babies.
predicated on action. The babies had no action in which this was the case. You can't fundamentally say that they are not innocent without giving us some justification for that.
So what
Sure,
did the
but
babies
my-
do to deserve to be slaughtered?
I hear what you're saying, but the reality is I asked you the question first. Why is it wrong to kill a baby? So if you can answer
Yeah,
that one,
I already
will.
did. Wait, I already answered this at the
I
beginning
can-
of this
I-
conversation. Wrong is a shorthand
No,
term.
you-
Yes, I'll repeat it one more time and only one more time, and then you will answer my question. Wrong is a shorthand term that means non-conducive towards the goal. If your goal is fairness and well-being, murdering babies would be wrong. It would be non-conducive to the goal. Now that I've answered your question, are you going to answer my question or are you going to run away? What did the baby do to deserve to be killed?
Well, that was not my final question. My final question was.
I don't
what is
care if it was your final. I
grounding
don't care. I
of
don't
your
care if it's.
moral?
I don't care if it's your
Well,
final.
so you're
question.
still not
You're
answering
not
the
get. You're
core
not
of my
getting any.
question.
You're not getting any more questions answered from me until you answer mine. I've already
Sounds
answered yours.
kind of,
It's not-
one-sided to me.
Nope. Whoa. One-sided. You want me to answer all your questions, but you're not going to answer mine? That's one-sided. You don't get something for nothing. I already answered your question. Now you get to answer mine. What did the baby do?
I did answer several of your other questions.
No. I just answered a question just now, so now it's your turn. What did the baby do to deserve to get killed?
From a theological standpoint, we are all sinners. Therefore,
What sin did the baby commit?
It is in our nature.
Wait, what did they do? No, sin is a action. It's breaking God's law.
No,
what did the
it's
baby
not just
do?
an action. It's also a desire. It's part of our nature. It's what we are, who we are.
No,
so
it's
that's
not.
The theological answer.
What's the definition of sin according to 1 John 3:4?
You know, go for it. I'm not. Quote the verse. Go for it.
Whoever commits sin breaks God's law, for sin is the breaking of God's law. What law did the baby break?
I don't know. I wasn't there. I wasn't there when the Amalekites
you
were
think
killed.
babies
I have
can?
no idea.
Can you think of any commandment that a baby could break?
Well, to go back to your point of flourishing, right, for the betterment
Stop
of society.
pivoting.
Why? I'm
Here, I got
literally
this.
answering the question. I'm answering the question. So as I was saying, to
What
answer the
law
question,
did the
for the
baby
benefit
break?
of society, for
Nope.
example, it goes to Hitler. Would you
nope,
kill Hitler
nope,
if you had him as a
nope,
baby?
Mike. No, I
Would you
wouldn't.
kill
No,
Hitler if you had
it
him?
wouldn't be
wouldn't.
justice. It
I
wouldn't be
would remove-
justice.
Saving
I would
millions
remove
of
him.
lives.
I would remove him from his environment
No.
and give him to a better family.
No,
Okay, you
that's-
can't reductio our moral position because our moral position makes sense with the society in which we live in. First off, so you saying that is rhetoric. So stop playing rhetoric. Answer the fucking question.
Yeah. What law of God did the baby break that would make him a sinner and thus deserving of death?
Well, let me put it this way: we all die. So whether you die as a
I
baby,
didn't
or whether
ask.
you die,
I didn't ask if we all
as
died.
I'm answering
Thank
the
you,
question. Let me finish the
Sherlock.
question.
We all
As
fucking die.
We all die. Why do we all die? The truth is, we all die because we
Wow,
all are sinful by nature.
You are such a slimy little weasel, but I'm not going to let you get away from me. I'm going to ask you again until you answer. What law of God did the babies break? He'll realize he's muted in a second, I'm sure. Well, I'm going to keep asking you until you answer the question.
Here, the answer is none, or the other option is tell us the law. It's not move on to a different subject, just to help you understand what we're looking for in this very precise question.
I will only. There we go. So, what law did they break?
There it is. I do not know. How's that
No,
feel?
that's
Is that good? Good enough?
okay. So if you don't know,
Satisfied?
then how are you a determiner of justice in this situation?
I am not. God is, and that's the thing, is God is all knowing by my theology, and therefore
But
he
That's
he's
an
knows
not.
exactly
assumption.
what is.
Yeah,
That's
he's
an
not.
assumption.
Yeah, the Bible would lead me to think otherwise.
Well, you asked me why I believe he dies. In this instance, I do not know.
And you think
I
God's
am
all
happy
knowing,
to
but
concede that.
you're not able
I
to.
do believe that God is all knowing.
But why
I
do you think
believe
that? Why do you think he's all knowing?
because it teaches it in the scriptures.
Really, because I'm reading the Bible here, and there's a situation in which God doesn't know something. How can you be all knowing if you don't know something?
Well, I would love to dive into that. Unfortunately, I do have to leave.
Uh-huh.
So,
Oh, yeah.
but I
I
do
would run
appreciate you
too.
guys.
I would run too.
Thank you for a conversation.
Yeah. Being a shitty person isn't a flex.
Yeah, I love how they love to have the moral conversation, but then they prove to be the most immoral sons of bitches I've ever known.
Just FYI, Dalton, get them in a contradiction, because if they wouldn't agree that it should be done to themselves, then they've derived a contradiction in their moral assumptions.
Yeah. As soon as I was going to bring up where the Bible makes sure that God is not all knowing, suddenly he has to go. Funny how that happens. All right. First take, honestly, I'm going to ask you 3 preliminary questions, and then we're going to get into the conversation. Question number 1. Are you at least 18 years old?
Yes.
Question number 2. What pronouns do you go by?
I don't go by any pronouns, but I was gonna say like the one from the Matrix.
None of those words are pronouns.
Oh man, I just don't use pronouns. I just
You
use my
do.
name.
Well, that's a lie. So which pronoun do you go by?
Just FYI, I as a I as a pronoun. So when you
Yeah.
say I don't use pronouns, you look dumb.
It's like driving up to somebody in your car and going, I don't drive cars. That's what it looks like. So
Right,
what
all of
third person
them.
pronoun should we use to refer to you in the third person? Like for my audience to refer to you in the third
Whichever
person.
one is most convenient.
Well, nope, I don't. Nope, we got to know which ones you actually go by. We don't move forward in the conversation until you tell us.
You're welcome to say any.
Man, this in itself is awesome. This is
If
actually
you-
awesome.
Here, I'll
If you
give
say
I'll
if
give
you say
one last
any,
chance.
if you say any, then it's very likely that the audience is going to refer to you as she. Would you like to be referred to as she?
Does servant
Nope.
work?
No.
Nope.
English is hard, people. English is hard.
Servant is a noun, not a pronoun. I'll give you one last chance. I'll give you. In fact, I'll help you out. I'll give you multiple choice.
Okay,
A, B,
good.
and
This is
C.
gonna
A
work good.
is he and him. B is she and her. C is they and them.
A.
There you go. Now, question number 3. Are you a Christian?
But just so you know, I forgot what A was, so I didn't really.
He and him is A.
Okay, what's the last question?
Are you a Christian?
I don't know. I have a relationship with Jesus Christ.
So yes, guys, it's either God or grammar, and never both. All right, I'm Dalton, the Bible guy. This is Ashland. Why should I be a Christian? Because at this point, you're already like in the negative.
Okay. I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm super entertained by watching this, and I thought it would be awesome just to be able to have a conversation with you. And
Is this how you typically have conversations with individuals, by being evasive?
well, I'm not trying to be evasive. I just wanted to compliment the guy before I answered the question.
Yeah, to be frank, backhand or compliments when you're being clearly difficult is not. It's like not well
I wasn't
regarded.
trying to be difficult. I'm not very in tune with pronouns. I've never really answered
You
that
d-
question.
but pronouns are something we learned in middle school.
Yeah.
Right, but every time someone's ever asked me that question, I've just said my name, and it worked. So
But your name would.
But you don't know what.
If I said to you, "What's your favorite color?" and you said square, that would not be an answer to the question, would it?
right.
Yeah,
so
most
we'll just
people
give
in
you whatever
conversation
answer worked for
aren't-
the situation.
Most people in conversation aren't gonna like hard press this. This is a litmus test in this conversation on how this conversation is going to go. In fact, when you can't directly answer a question, we're going to assume that maybe you're just not well educated enough to have the conversation, or you're being purposely deceitful or
I'm
deflecting.
not being purposely deceitful. I'm not trying to cause any problems. I just haven't answered that question before.
Do you know what a pronoun is?
What's
Do you
the
know what a
definition
noun
of a
is?
pronoun? What a person, place, or thing. What's the definition of a pronoun?
Pronoun is
Yeah,
a word that
pro-
replaces a noun in order to avoid repetition in a sentence.
yeah.
Okay.
Like,
Guy.
No, it's a noun.
Guy.
It's a
Oh,
noun.
dang.
Jesus Christ. Okay, I'm
is
done.
this?
I'm done with the English lesson.
Is,
You're a Christian. Why should I be a Christian?
I'll give you that. You cornered me into the hear him option.
I cornered him.
Thank you.
Fucking hell.
I
Yeah, you're not
agree with
doing
you.
you're not really giving me a good reason to be a Christian. And if anything, you're making me want to be less of a Christian by the second. Why
Okay,
should I
that's
be a
not what I'm
Christian?
gonna do. I apologize. Why should you have a relationship with Jesus Christ? Because there are benefits.
But I don't care if Jesus isn't actually like you can't have a relationship with someone who is dead. I gonna need to have a reason. I think that any relationship with Jesus wouldn't be just in my own head.
Well, my answer was because there are benefits.
I don't care about benefits. I only care about whether or not like if the relationship is a real relationship, like it's as if it's a
there,
two-way
there,
situation.
there are benefits to murdering someone to take their money. Should I murder someone to take their money?
I guess I should rephrase that and say the benefits outweigh the drawbacks.
Okay, but is Jesus actually alive? Like, is this relationship going to be a two-way relationship, or is it going to be a one-way relationship where I just believe I have a relationship with this person?
By the way, there are still benefits to doing immoral acts like lying, where you'll never get caught, and you know you'll never get caught. Should I lie when I'm not getting caught?
I think God catches you. Just because another person doesn't catch you doesn't mean you're not caught.
He can't if he doesn't exist.
Like,
True.
this is
If-
such
if
a
he didn't
weird
exist, that
way.
would be true.
Benefits to do an action are not sole reasons or a motivator to do the actions. That's a horrible way to live.
Well, it's not why I do it. I'm just trying to give you a good answer
Okay,
to your question.
does your God exist?
Yes.
Why should I think that's true?
Why should you think it's true?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think you should think it's true.
You think I should be an atheist?
It would be. I'm aware that if you did believe that it was true.
Wait, to be
then-
clear, you want me to be an atheist?
Yeah, I do actually. I want you to be an atheist until you realize that that's not the best option.
What a stupid,
Because I don't want
what
you
a
to be a
stupid
Christian
evasive way of
100%
saying I want you to believe in God. Jesus Christ.
Like, for example, I don't want you to be. I don't want you to be happy because I convinced you to be happy. I want you to be happy because you figured out how to be happy.
What a dumb thing to say. I would want you to be happy. Now,
Yeah,
why
but
why
there
should
would
I
be
think your God actually
like, if I'm not
exists?
there,
What I mean by why should I think your God exists is give me a reason to think your God exists.
Right. So I would say because if he didn't exist,
Uh-huh.
this place where we live isn't very impressive.
No, it is impressive. I actually, when I stopped being religious, stopped believing in God, I was more impressed by the world.
Can we stop with the ambiguous phrases? We don't know what you mean by impressive in this context. I don't know if you've ever wrote a paper or done any sort of research, but what you just said is meaningless.
Yeah, like I'm impressed by the world. I don't think there's a God.
Dude, I have ADHD. Shiny things impress me. What the fuck are you talking about?
Well, it could impress you, but it doesn't impress you like on a very high level.
It does impress me on a very high
Yeah.
level.
Sometimes shiny things impress me on a high level.
I'm extremely impressed by the beauty
Wow.
of
Cool.
nature. No God required.
Yeah, like legitimately,
Yeah,
if
I
you
am
look
too.
at diamonds, diamonds are shiny. Think
I'm
about
impressed.
how
I'm
diamonds are
impressed.
formed.
I'm
That is
impressed by a
so
lot of stuff, but
impressive.
I'm not like very impressed.
How diamonds, how rock, how
Yeah, it
gemstones.
just seems like common sense.
Sounds like a
No,
you problem.
no, it's not. It's there's an
Like the way that
extremely
diamonds
complex.
form
It's
seems
an
like common
extremely
sense.
complex.
It
No, it's
makes
a
sense.
complex process. Like how. Like just making a meal in your kitchen
Yeah, like
has chemistry behind it that
take
besides just doing the
carbon and
actions.
pressure and heat. It makes sense that would happen to me.
Well, it's
You're,
not just that.
you're just a boring person, is all it is.
Well,
It's not just that.
That's what we're getting from this. I'm convinced that what this person said earlier, like his stories must be so boring, is accurate. Like you're just boring. You're bored by the beauty
Yeah, like
and majesty of nature. I don't want to be like you.
Life is a lot more exciting.
This sounds like a really sad way to exist.
Oh no, I actually was very depressed before I had a relationship with Jesus Christ.
It sounds like you still
And now I'm
are,
not.
but like I don't want to
I'm
think
not.
like I don't want
Literally
to I don't
not.
want to think
What
the
the
way
fuck
that
is
you
this
do.
sounds like depressed?
I don't want to think the way you do. The way you think sucks. I love the way I think. Nature is
Oh, I'm not
beautiful.
displaying the way
It's
that I think.
complex.
I'm just
It's
displaying
wonderful,
the things
and
inside of
it's
myself
more
and the
wonderful
conversation.
now that I'm no longer a believer because I didn't just think, "Ooh, it was magically popped into existence by a god." I see the billions of years that our present universe has existed, and all the intricate and complex ways that stars have formed and the world formed and that nature came about and evolution. It's amazing. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. So tell me that you have a
And I
better
just
reason.
want to. I just want to say this. By the way, I was depressed with or without God. That has to do with my biology, and I have evidence for that. So I just want to make sure there's a mental wellness check that we're not saying that the views on things. Now, while cognitive reframing can absolutely help symptoms of depression, that's not what we're saying.
So like 2 + 2 is 4, and that makes sense, but it's not very impressive to me. Like,
But how
What are you
stars
talking
form is
about?
impressive.
We have the piano method where we can talk about axiomatically why they're true. There's so much more even deeper to that. In fact, I can make a proof that, or I can make a proof that shows that 2 plus what was it, like 2 minus 1 equals 0. Like you can do weird proofs, and you can just like look at math in these really interesting ways. Now, are they valid? Are they sound or whatever? No.
like when I see
Okay, so
something.
here,
that
let me
catches my
let me use an
attention,
analogy to
like,
help you
yeah,
understand why this is not going very well as far as conversation is concerned. If let's say there were two people, one was 6 foot tall, and the other one's like got these high boots, and he's like, "Hey, you should wear these high boots," and he goes, why should I?" He goes, "Oh, then you'll be 6 feet tall." He goes, "Well, I'm already 6 feet tall, so that's not really a reason to sell me on the boots. Like the thing that you have a problem with, it's a non-factor in my world. Therefore, the reason you have to wear the boots, not a good reason for me to wear the boots." So you're saying you should believe in God because without God, the world isn't impressive. That might be a problem for you, not a problem for me. I think the world's impressive. So what's another reason why I should think that your God exists?
Well, what country do you live in?
America.
Well, I guess because this country was founded on Christian morals.
Even if that were true, wouldn't be a reason for. I don't like my country, first and foremost. 2, it wasn't.
But you love the people in it. Yeah. It wasn't founded on that, but I mean, we could talk about the Treaty of Tripoli, in how the founding fathers, like there were different Bibles, they were likely deist with like certain Christian ideology. But we don't agree with Christian nationalism. We don't agree with Christian fundamentals. The amendments were meant to be trained, even if it was founded on it. The way that the system was set up was to change. That's what amendment means.
So, our country was founded on Christian morals.
It was also founded on slavery.
Wait,
So do you think that the Christian morals are slavery?
I do not have this memorized, but I have seen a
We were late to the game. We founded it on slavery.
Would you say that the Ten Commandments? Would you say that the Ten
Ten
Commandments are good examples of Christian morals?
It seems like it. It
Okay.
seems like
In America, one of the things that were founded on was freedom of religion, right?
oh yeah, that's definitely that we need that to happen. Definitely
What's the
need
first?
freedom
What's
of
the
religion.
what's the first of the Ten Commandments?
Honestly, don't remember.
You shall have no other gods before me. Literally
Right.
contradicting our freedom of religion belief here in America. Freedom
Yeah,
of
but
speech. You think is the Bible pro freedom of speech?
can I say something that I like the big point that I'm trying to make here that I might be able to make at this point without being like interrupted for just a second?
Sure.
Okay. So what I'm saying is where we live, we have the ability to fail and fail and fail and fail at life until we find what works.
You're getting
All of it.
slowly quieter.
I'm sorry. Hang on. Let me move my phone just a little bit. Okay. In the country that we live in, it's set up so that we have the ability to fail and fail and fail and fail until we find something that works.
And this
Would you
is
agree
and
with
this
that?
has to deal with
Well,
what I was talking about just now. In what way?
And this is not true either, but sure. It
Okay.
depends on what population you're talking about. God forbid you're an ethnic
like-
minority.
Just like if you're like,
You're a minority.
I
at
want to have
all.
a good attitude and be nice to people and see if that works out well for me. Versus I want to be an asshole and punch people in the face every day and see if that
Yeah,
works out.
yeah. At what point in history? Because it's not with in the last
Like right now.
right now, but it wasn't founded on that.
Well, it got to this.
So
And it couldn't got here
your
without
whole-
this.
The
again, your
more
whole
the
point
more we move
is-
away from Christianity, the more we get to this.
But-
Yes, I understand that.
But I just want to make this point in one breath here.
God damn.
So because we have the ability to like try and fail and find something that actually is beneficial to us, I don't ever want somebody to do it because I think they should. I want them to get into the frame of mind that
Cool, you
the
disagree
only
with
thing
Christianity.
that is going to be worth risking their life on is something that they are willing to risk their life on. If they
That's
get
not
the-
true at all either. Don't tell people that because then 21-year-olds would go racing.
No, I'm saying like the only thing that is worth you risking your life on is something that you are willing to risk your life on.
That
not what I'm
again,
willing to risk your
no, don't say that either because that's against public health policy. We have speed limits imposed for a reason. If you were to say that to an 18-year-old who just got their driver's license, they would think it would be worth risking their life to speed. I think that your opinion might be a little misinformed.
I don't think they'd be willing to risk their life to speed.
Their prefrontal cortex, yeah, I did it. The fuck?
Like I don't think they would say I'm going to speed
you
because
are
I want to
making
risk my
you
life
are
right
making
now.
me more an atheist by the second.
What are you?
Well,
People
that's
do it
my
all
goal.
the time.
I want you to think for yourself. And
We
realize
do.
that somebody else is not going to give you what you need to have something.
You're
click and
you're
become
certainly not
Christian.
going to make me a Christian.
Right,
You're making me think that if I become a Christian, I'll become stupid. I don't
No,
want that.
like the further away you get from taking somebody else's advice, the closer you get to making the right choice.
Okay, everybody around me in this country, like my entire family, Dalton's entire family, they're all Christian. By the way, we're the ones that are the
My whole
black sheep
family
of the
is too.
family. Okay, so but yeah, so you're the one fitting in. You're the one of conforming to thought. We're the ones that
No,
are the
I didn't
minority of
just
the
always
population.
conform. I ran away from that shit.
We're the ones that are the minority population. What you're saying does not connect to the thought.
Yeah, I was.
It
that
does not
population.
follow. What
This
you're
is-
saying does not follow.
You're fucking driving me up. You're driving me crazy. Thank
So-
thank you for making me not want to be a Christian. Jesus is disappointed. God,
Dalton, you gotta be different. Like,
I gotta be an atheist apparently.
yeah.
I look at this picture I found. I love it because it's so perfectly true.
You got to do the one where it's you're bringing on drugs. It's the frying pan
Well,
with
this
the
is
egg in
this.
it.
It's got no brain. It's just blank. Um, yeah, but yeah, same thing, yeah. Um,
Sorry, I came in hot. My boss called me, and that was a whole thing.
there are lots of our guests who would say that you always come in hot. But not in the debate sense.
Some of them I don't want to say that.
You heard it here first, folks. At Tracy, formerly Yantu, with the $1.99. Hi, Daddy. Hello, Tracy. Good to see you. But yeah, this guy is super convincing. I'm a Christian. Yeah, can you imagine? Like, Jesus Christ, I can't imagine if I was a Christian, I would be so embarrassed to have a Christian come up and be like, "I want you to be an atheist." Well, congratulations, you got what you fucking wanted. Insane. Guys, I had a dream last night that Ashley and I became roommates. Well, almost became roommates. I didn't get an answer because I woke up.
I do want to tell all the ladies out there, Dalton is taken by Karlak. She's super hot.
Oh my god. Guys, we're trying to sleep with our characters on Baldur's Gate, and I've got my eyes on Karlak. There's something about, and my character is like a halfling, so I'm just trying to climb that mountain right now. Yeah. Anyways, we got another guest here. Unchained. Oh, this is a friendly, right? You're an atheist, right?
I am, but
Yes.
I come with. I'm gonna pose you a friend. Calling him a friend is the wrong description. Someone that we are both avidly aware of has been running a new argument, and as someone who is only just learning Hebrew, I don't have the best position to argue against it with him. So I wanted to bring it up with you and see what your opinion is, because I know it's hilarious, but I'm going to guess you might not have seen it. So, Matt, otherwise known as No Degree Required.
Oh, God.
Yep. I know.
Just know he lies out his ass and through his
Yeah.
mouth. They're the
I'm-
same hole, actually, for him.
I am very much aware.
Is he still doing the slavery thing?
He is, and he's got a new pivot on it, and he thinks he's got the backing of at least one biblical scholar.
Oh yeah, I bet. I mean, he I doubt it, because he told everyone that he had my backing when he absolutely doesn't.
Cyber told me what it was, and it was the thing at the front of the Hebrew, I believe, where he thinks that this word, when it's used, I can't remember the entire argument. Cyber came up and explained that it was like this in this context is like the possessive or something. But go ahead with it. Yeah, the stem. Thank you, Sticks.
That is really, that is a relatively close to what I heard him arguing for it this morning. So it is his argument basically now is he's made it into a syllogism. I'm probably going to misquote it because I didn't get a chance to actually write it down when he was saying it, and then he ended the live before I could come up and talk to him. It was basically atheism classifies slavery as owning another human. The Bible doesn't classify. The Bible doesn't condone owning another human. Therefore, the Bible doesn't condone slavery.
You want to know what? You want to know the lengths that No Degree had to go to in order to hold this position? He had to start saying with his full chest. By the way, premise number one: atheism doesn't define anything. But but the other thing is that he had to go as far as to say that the Israelites were not owned as slaves in Egypt. That's the position he had to go to.
Okay, so that was his line of argumentation, was the same word used says something about the Levites having possession over God, and God isn't a possession of anyone, so clearly that's a mistranslation of the word. And the Hebrews weren't actually owned as slaves in Egypt. That is the crux of his argumentation, and I don't know enough about the Hebrew to know how incredibly wrong he is on that.
It says that God is a possession for the Levites because they don't have property, so God is their possession. It's like the God is the only thing that they own. It's not meant to be taken literally, but at the same time, it says, like, I got no degree required to admit that money is a possession which is owned, and it says that the Israelite slave is the Israelites' money. And it literally, and we often read it in English as, that you can beat your slave as long as they don't die in 2 or 3 days because the slave is your property. The Hebrew there is literally money. He is your money. And money is owned by an individual. So by extension, if the slave is your money and money is owned, the slave is owned. And also the Hebrew word for slave, eved, same word used in Deuteronomy 5:15 to describe the Israelites were slaves in Egypt to Pharaoh. No degree has to throw out the entire narrative of the Exodus as being, we were slaves to Pharaoh in Egypt, and now, well, they actually weren't slaves, even though they were.
Okay, so
this is why I blocked
the thing about money, this is one thing that he did. This was on a rant right before he ended the live. This wasn't like something that anyone else prompted. He got to the point where he was saying that the reason it calls them money is because they earn the wage to like pay back a debt, and it's not to do with them actually being possessed. That's literally the level he's got to.
This is a visual description of No Degree getting his arguments. Okay, this is his puckered little anus, and he just gets in there and just pulls these arguments right out of his ass, because in no reality would anyone ever refer to someone as their money because they pay them. That's ridiculous.
I just wanted to make sure there wasn't even like an ounce of argumentation that was actually backed in like his supposed deep dive of the Hebrew.
No, he doesn't know jack shit about Hebrew.
If I'm being honest, No Degree is a good introductory like debate bro, because it teaches you how much bullshit they're willing to like spread. You go debate No Degree. You'll figure out really quickly that like who is willing to have an honest conversation and who isn't, and No Degree is not.
I always manage to only catch the very ends of his lives because I don't actually follow him, and it would just be like that someone else that I have as a mutual is also watching his live, and I always join and I request up, and I've never been able to actually speak to him on his own live because he always ends it right as I join.
Yeah, maybe he's terrified of you.
He does know I have a master's in history and he hates degrees. So
yeah, that is true. Imagine making your whole personality is, I'm not educated. Yeah, we get it, bud. But real quick, I'm gonna read a super chat, and then we're gonna do a restart on TikTok.
Yeah, just give me 1 second. But
this
when
super
you
chat's about you.
Oh, hold on. But when you make a live about why people block you, but then never listen to people when they're having conversations with you, you could have done that prior to that. No Degree. If you're listening, you don't have to make a live about someone people like in mass blocking you when we've told you why we block you. In fact, I told you why we block you. Dalton's told you why we've blocked you. It's because you're dishonest, and we've called you out on it several times. Someone can tell that to No Degree.
It's really fucking funny. He had a live, guys, where he said, why do all the atheists keep blocking me? Because you're shit. But we have a comment here from @Tracy, formerly Yanti, with $1.99. Is Peggy modeled after Ash? No. You know what? I'll let Ashlyn decide that. Like, Ashlyn, do you want to peg people?
You know, I've only said this to one boyfriend. I said, if you want to do anal, I'll have to peg you first because it's only fair.
You know what? That does sound fair. And man, it's like if he was anything like me, he was like, fuck yes. But anyways.
It's not something I desire, so probably Peggy's not desired after or modeled after me because it's not something that I want to do necessarily. I'll do it. Like I like making people happy.
I'm all about equal opportunity anal sex. But anyways, we're gonna do a quick restart and then we'll get started again, everyone. So I'll see you all in just a hot second. Man, these lives, they do be getting kind of crazy. The people on TikTok can't see that thing all around on my face, so it just looks stupid when I do that. Welcome
Yo.
back.
Hi, everyone. Also, thank you for everyone that's been gifting. I know there's only 12 people, so maybe I should wait to say this message, but
There's 212
y'all are
people
awesome.
on YouTube. You can talk to them.
Oh, YouTube. Thank you for everyone that's doing super chats, commenting. I tried the whole doing both thing. I just don't have it in me. Oh, so did you see the DM that I sent you, by the way? Someone for more mods.
Let's see.
From someone.
Oh, my minds. So a person named Mrs. Secular on YouTube would be a good fit. She's my friend. Yeah. Who else? Well, I'll message you later.
Okay.
Or I'll just talk to you later after the live. Okay. You don't have to be a Christian. No one's twisting your Christine Covey. This is another thing that I don't understand that Christians keep doing. When I say, why should I be Christian? Not in the least bit am I implying that you or anyone else is forcing me. When I say, why should I be Christian? That is me opening up the floor to you giving me rational and reasonable arguments for why I should be a Christian. No one is asking you or implying that you should or are trying to force anyone. It just shows me you don't understand what's happening in the conversation.
Hold on, I have to step away. Also, Poopman Jones, thank you for the gifts. I have to pee. Give me a second.
Christy Covey, maybe because you think that I should know. Maybe you have a good argument. I don't think. Maybe you realize that I know more about your religion than you, and therefore you won't be able to convince me. Maybe. I'm convinced that people like you are either cowards or smart enough to know that you don't stand a chance. What do you guys think? Yeah, like it's so weird. Why you been streaming less? I've been doing not Dungeons and Dragons. I've been playing Baldur's Gate all week with somebody. That's why
You can blame me. Blame is on me. I get it. It's always the woman.
It is in this case the woman.
I ate the apple.
You sure did.
The book didn't actually say that, but I did it.
Dalton, do you know Present? I do not know who Present is. I'm jealous my PS5 died. I bought a new one. You have a PS5? So do I. I have a PS5 and an Xbox. And I plan on getting a Switch 2 pretty soon.
That was one of your birthday gifts to yourself.
I bought myself
PS5, yeah.
No, the PS5 was not my birthday gift. The Xbox was.
Oh, yeah, opposite. Sorry.
I'll show you guys my Xbox. It's right here. I bought this 1 terabyte Xbox, and it's got a nice little design on it, like paint splatters. Love it. I have it hooked up to the PC, so I play it on my PC, and then my PlayStation 5 is over here next to the TV.
So I think Xbox is designed for and I'm gonna say it. I'm not like a real gamer, meaning that I'm not hardcore into it. It does do the streaming and the passes, the Game Pass and stuff like that. But everybody that I know that is really into games likes the better.
I do love the PS5 more than my Xbox.
Yeah.
Anthony, man, I'm gonna ask you 3 preliminary questions, and then we'll get to the conversation. Question number 1: are you at least 18 years old?
Yes.
Question number 2: what pronouns do you go by?
Him.
All right. And question number 3:
Your mic is a bit quiet. Is that just me?
Mine?
No, Anthony's. Is it just me?
What's that?
Your mic is muffled or quiet.
Hold up. Is that better?
Yes,
Yeah.
actually.
Just had my fan on low.
And are you a Christian?
Yes.
All right. I'm Dalton the Bible Guy. This is Ashlyn. Why should we be
Right.
Christians?
So why if you're an atheist, why are you the Bible guy?
Because I know the Bible better than you.
Well, why would you waste your time on things that are nonsensical if
You know,
you're if you
every time I get a Christian come up here saying, "Why do you waste your time doing this?" I can only assume that this is an attempt to get me to stop talking about the Bible because you don't like
Oh.
me destroying your
Well,
religion.
just
Oh.
curious?
Well, Anthony, if you like were being like threatened to be tortured in all eternity, wouldn't you check that claim out first?
That would mean that you're agnostic, right? Not atheist.
Those are
Well,
not
we're
mutually
agnostic
exclusive.
atheists, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I
like,
thought agnostic meant you were like open to there being an existence of God. And
I am.
atheist is
Atheists can be
So
open to the existence of God. I just don't believe in God because no good reasons have been given to me.
I always
yeah,
get
like,
conflicting definitions of atheism.
no, that's fine, and that's because like no one group always agrees on terms, but when we look at the term agnosticism and we look at the term atheism, and this is something that Dalton and I actually argued on for I think 2 days for several hours on because I think Dawkins has like his own scale chart as well where he puts agnostic in its own group, and we don't agree with that, but what you can do is ask people what they mean by this term, and that's always fine.
Yeah, I usually do. Like the last 5 times, it's been consistent that atheists stake the claim that there is no God. So I guess I got complacent.
So
Yeah, well, I
in the-
don't know any atheists that say that.
Yeah, so typically within the atheist community, amongst the most popular speakers, like anyone you'll find on the line or the atheist experience, like these are the big hitters. We're pretty much all in unison that what we mean by atheist is that simply we lack a belief in God. Not we know for a fact that there's no God and we make that positive claim.
Right. Well, I mean, I can only speak from existence. I didn't keep tally of who said that or anything.
So why should I
But-
be a Christian?
Yeah.
Well, if you know the Bible more than me, you should know that really already.
As a result of knowing the Bible so well, I happen to know that the Bible is full with scientific and historical errors, contradictions, failed prophecies, and including the fact that Jesus didn't fulfill a single messianic prophecy, thus he cannot be the Messiah.
So he wasn't born of a virgin birth.
It's not prophesied in the Old Testament to be born of a virgin.
Isaiah.
It's not. Not in the original Hebrew.
Virgin shall bring forth the son, shall call his name Emmanuel.
That's not what it actually says, though, in the original Hebrew.
Oh, well, I think that's where you're getting into like a crusade to disprove the Bible rather than
No, it's just
No.
no. Actually, it was the exact opposite. When I was a Christian, I wanted to convince Jewish people that Jesus was the Messiah. So what did I do? I learned Hebrew, and I read the Hebrew Bible because I wanted to prove Jesus was the Messiah. But then I found out that, oh shit, the Bible didn't actually say the thing that it says in my English Bible.
Well, Anthony, I just want to ask you one question. What does Emmanuel mean in Hebrew?
God is
Like-
with us.
Oh yeah,
Well,
Alma. Alma is the word you look fresh.
Huh?
What Alma is the word you're actually wanted to ask him about?
No. This is a separate question too. What does Yeshua mean? Like he wasn't called Emmanuel either.
Yeah, that's true.
well, if the New Testament is written in Greek, it's actually Jesus.
Well, no. Also, no.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. But was he ever called Emmanuel?
Yeah.
And Matthew.
No. Who calls him Emmanuel? Besides the narrator, who actually does his mom ever call him Emmanuel? Does that would be important if his mom called him that, because the text says, "And she will call his name Emmanuel," but Mary never once calls Jesus Emmanuel.
What? How would you possibly know what Mary calls him
We have
unless you were there?
because when the time came, the name that they gave him was Yeshua, or in Greek, Jesus.
Yeah, right. So
Like no part of this prophecy fits Jesus is what I'm trying to contend to. Like
yeah, that's
Like in the Hebrew,
You're disingenuous. You're on here to
I'm more.
disprove the Bible.
Wait, no, I'm
well,
not.
no,
I'm not.
no.
You're
There's
disingenuous
so
for
many
you're
holes.
disingenuous for saying that. The Hebrew doesn't say anything about a virgin that will give birth to a child.
Yeah, it does.
It says
It
it
says
says
all
Anthony,
kinds of-
it says Hine ha'alma hara v'yoledet ben v'kirat shemo Emmanuel. Behold, the young woman is pregnant and will bear a son. I'm not disingenuous when I point out to you that the Bible doesn't say what you think it says. That's me being genuine.
Psalm talks about whom they looked upon, whom they pierced. There's all kinds. My God,
No.
why hast thou
Anthony,
forsaken you?
Anthony,
Psalm
Anthony,
22. There's all kinds of
Anthony,
prophecies.
Anthony.
Ashlyn.
Do you think we're
disingenuous. You're a servant.
Anthony?
You're probably like literal
Anthony,
demons.
I'll mute you.
Anthony, do you think that we're yeah you well you said we're demons.
That's
I
disingenuous.
studied yeah, I studied do you know me? Do you know anything about me?
Yes, I know that you're lying.
How do you know that we're lying?
You guys. That's why you got flames in the background.
Okay,
You guys
wait,
come
wait. When I will prove to you that I'm not lying. How about that? Would you like that? Or do you actually not care about what's true?
Anthony, I sat there and studied psychology because I lost a brother to suicide, and I devoted 5 years of my life and then a couple years after that to helping people. And I sit there and do the same thing every day. I find it really offensive that you're sitting there and telling me what my intent is without knowing a single thing about me. You don't know where I live, what's going on. And I don't make these presumptions.
I don't need to know any of that to know that you're misrepresenting the word of God.
We're not misrepresenting it. We're
I'll
not.
have, like, the most-
You're just
you only need the most basic-
Anthony. We're just not representing your dogma, but we are absolutely representing the Bible correctly. When I say that the Hebrew doesn't say what you think it says, so here I have on the screen Isaiah chapter 7 verse 14 in the King James Bible says, "Therefore the Lord himself shall give you a sign, behold, a virgin shall conceive." Now, when I go to the Hebrew and I click on the word that gets translated as virgin, and then I look at the Brown Drivers Briggs lexicon definition of the Hebrew word alma, it tells me it's a noun, feminine, and just means young woman, ripe sexually, maid, or newly married, not virgin.
Ripe sexually. Weird fucking thing to say, too.
Ripe sexually means virgin, right?
Or newly married. When you marry somebody, what do you do to consummate the marriage?
Ripe sexually is still weird.
Well, we can go along.
What do you do when you consummate a marriage?
You join together.
Yeah, you have
Anthony,
sex.
I think Anthony is represented by the devil, actually.
Yeah, I think you're disingenuous. I think you're a liar, Anthony. I think you're lying about what the Bible says in order to like push out your dogma that Jesus is the Messiah when you're just representing a demon. I think you're a liar. Why should we talk to liars?
You've decided that Jesus is not the Messiah.
I didn't decide that. The Bible decided that.
And we only look at the Bible, and what you're saying is what a demon would say.
Yeah, a demon would tell me, listen, this guy is God and he's the Messiah, even though he didn't fulfill any prophecies. That's exactly what a demon would say to me.
Listen, I pray that God has mercy on your soul.
I pray that God has mercy on your soul and that he stops you from lying about his book.
We use the scriptures, and the scriptures are no, you yeah.
Anthony's the anti-science. Yeah. The irony of calling it disingenuous while also being disingenuous, you don't know that I'm disingenuous. You just don't like what I'm saying is all. Which is why, again, at the beginning of this conversation, Anthony was like complaining and crying about the fact that, ooh, why do you do this if you don't believe? It's because Anthony doesn't want us talking about this because he knows that what we say is detrimental to the Christian faith. And that's why he wants us to stop doing it. But we're not going to stop doing it because, like I said at the beginning of this conversation, Anthony, I know the Bible better than you, and you just showed everyone that I know the Bible better than you. So suck it.
And Anthony, when we have these conversations, we think about the viewers in mind. And if your God was intelligent, he would have prepared you with a conversation or a defense. But he clearly didn't, right? Because all you had to say was nothing to defend your faith. It was just, oh my God, you're the devil. And if that's the case, you have no evidence. You have no, like, if God were convincing, then he would send you down with something. He would like show people.
Yeah, Anthony, you're just full of shit. All right. First take honestly. I'm going to ask you 3 questions and wait to the conversation. Question number 1.
We just spoke with them.
Oh, I don't remember them.
You love me though. Give me a second try.
All right, I'll
I'll
give you a
be-
second I'll give you a second try then. Why should I be a Christian?
Okay, I wrote a couple things down. My answers are based off of the fact if you were to ask, if all the Christians in the world were standing in front of you and you would ask the question and they would all answer together.
God.
Is that okay to answer like that?
That would be the first
Well,
time in history that they could all agree on something.
I just want to form an analogy. If what ifs were in one hand and I shat in the other, which one would fill up faster?
What's in the first hand?
The what ifs.
I've never thought about that.
If pigs had wings, would they be really good at flying? I don't care about what ifs. I care about what is.
Yeah, they'd bump their ass if frogs had them too.
Well,
A little less.
Their wings are really big. Real quick. Okay, so
I'm
Why
fine
should it
with
be a
hypotheticals, but they have to be a conversation in which presses consistency in a conversation. Like hypotheticals in dialogue are useful. I will admit, this hypothetical is not. You have to. It's not about consistency.
So why should I be a
So
Christian?
I'm just saying, for example, if you were to go out onto a church that I would feel good going to, and you would go up there and stand up there and ask the whole congregation these questions,
They'd probably
I
give me
think they
stupid
would
answers too.
collectively all agree on these answers that I'm going to give you.
I'm gonna let you know, my stepmom is Catholic and my dad is Baptist. They're not gonna give me the same answers, and they're my own parents, and they go to the same congregation now. So I give that. What
Okay,
if doesn't make sense?
Let me reiterate then. A church that has believers that all believe the same thing.
Well, of course, if you asked a bunch of people who believe the same thing, that's the same question, they give you the same fucking answers. That's just trivially true.
I believe there are some churches out there that have
fucking
believers that
Christ.
believe the same thing.
Do you know? Okay, honestly,
I know, for example, I could bring Joe Schmo
listen.
to my church and he might
okay.
not believe the same thing.
Okay, listen to yourself. If I said, "Is the color blue blue?" and you go, "Well, of course, yes," that is what you're asking us.
I would say the color blue is the
Of course
light
it's
being
fucking
refracted
blue.
back into your eyes. But anyway, I just want to answer the question of the prompt. That's what I want to talk about. So,
Hey,
the
I know
answer
you're.
is
I know
to
you.
pursue a peace that passes understanding.
I have
That's my first
peace.
answer.
I have peace.
I have peace.
But that's not the same thing.
Yeah, it
as a
is.
peace that
Actually,
passes understanding.
my peace surpasses your peace. Actually,
It might.
yeah.
So
I don't need Jesus.
And it,
Next.
So are
and
you-
it surpasses
are you
understanding.
Are you at peace on such a level to where it's overwhelming and you can't explain it?
Yeah, yeah.
That
So don't ask me to.
that sounds horrible.
That's awesome because I experienced that too.
Here,
so
give me.
that would
give
be
me
my
okay,
reason.
here. I'll give you one
I
last
once
opportunity
did
to give me a good
MDMA
reason.
too.
Yeah, I'll give you
I
one
once
last reason
did
to
it-
actually give me a good reason, or I'm just moving on because this is a waste of my time.
Man,
Koala
I
brain.
thought that was a good reason though to
It
pass
wasn't.
to experience a peace that
Hey,
passes
It was
understanding.
shit.
First, I understand that you're probably very convinced of this, but the problem is that I too once did drugs, and I believed in a lot of things that weren't true. And when I came down from that, I
Well,
understand.
I too have also lost a sibling to drugs, just like you, and I also have done a bunch.
I
of
didn't
research
lose a
just
sibling
like
to
you.
drugs. That's not what
Oh,
I
you
said.
didn't? I'm sorry.
No.
I thought that's what you said. What
No,
did you say?
no. So I remember when I did LSD, right? I thought the answer was love for like 2 weeks, and it was called delusion. And when I came down from that and I looked at it and I assessed, and then I went to college and I learned how I should believe, like not how I should believe in things, but the methodology. And maybe my even my professors and I disagreed on something, right?
College taught you how to love?
Like you're not listening.
No. Okay, methodology, how we come to truth, epistemic, like how truths are made, how knowledge is formed, right? When we look at something, we need something called justification for our beliefs. For example, if I were just to call you a liar, you would say, no, I'm not, right? I would say, well, yes, you are. And that's kind of the conversation that's happening now. But if I had evidence that you were lying, that raised the probability, like say, in the past you lied, and then there were inconsistencies within a story that you had. Or when we look at law and we look at murder, or we look at history and we give reasons for why we believe things, you're just saying, hey, I feel better on this. Well, if we give patients placebo, meaning sugar pills,
I'm not saying I feel better. I'm saying I feel so much better that it's unexplainable.
yeah,
From
well,
my point of
no. Placebos do the same thing in drug trials for depressed patients.
I have like this unbelievable
can
overwhelming
do the
peace
same
right after orgasm. I can't
It
even
can.
describe it.
I believe you, man.
It can.
I
It
would believe that.
can. So you have to
But
demonstrate.
how long does that last? What
It
if that?
lasts a
Okay, there
long
we
ass
go. What
time.
if that? What if that lasted forever?
Well,
What if that?
I can
What if that
I
piece that you
know from
described lasted
personal
forever?
personal experience, Christianity doesn't do that. You can can
But
tell me
what
that
if?
it does, but it
But what if it
doesn't.
did?
I don't care about
How
what
would you
ifs.
know though?
Dude,
As a past experience
seriously.
or a Christianity, I know for a fact it doesn't. I know for a
In
fact
fact,
that every
in
Christian I know experiences hard times and they have stress.
most people go through this, and
True.
same with Christians. Like you're just trying to feed people a pipe dream, and it's honestly harmful. You
No,
don't
I'm not trying
see.
to feed people a pipe dream. I'm
It's
trying to.
it's like listening. It's like when a cultist tells the people, "Listen, no matter what you do, I want you to smile and let the people think that you're happy because that's what their religion does." And then I get this person looking back at me with this glassy eyed, like, "I'm so happy, can't you tell? My religion makes me so happy and at peace." I don't believe you. I'm moving on. Thank you for giving me one more reason to not be a Christian. Okay, we're gonna bring up one last guest for the day because I got important Baldur's Gate business to attend to. Tati B, I'm going to ask you 3 preliminary questions, and then we'll get to the conversation at hand. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old?
Yes.
Question number 2, what pronouns do you go by?
She.
All right. Question number 3, are you a Christian?
Yes.
All right, I'm Dalton the Bible Guy. This is Ashland. Why should I be a Christian?
You should be a Christian because the world has a void that only the
Just
presence of God.
let her go
Well,
on.
let me finish.
Yeah, just let her.
Everybody, doesn't matter what walk of where you are in the world, everybody has a void that only the presence of God can fill. I believe that's the reason being you have people who may walk into different religions. They're into tarot card because they're curious.
This
They
fills
may
my
have,
void. This fills my void.
and then God is a supernatural God. I think people try to understand God from a logical perspective, but God again is a supernatural God. Until you have experienced Him
Oh, cool.
supernaturally,
Why aren't you Hindu?
because I know Jesus Christ is the way. Because even
But the
well,
Hindu
as a
god is
matter of fact,
supernatural.
one second. As a matter of
Well,
fact,
wait,
I'm
no.
happy you're
The
bringing
Hindu
that
god
up.
is supernatural.
Okay, just
Or
because it's
gods, really.
supernatural, just because something is supernatural, right? You need to use discernment, right?
I use discernment.
It's-
Discernment led me away
no,
from Christianity.
well, I apologize. I don't know your full story, but I know as a believer we have to use discernment because everything
Yeah.
that
Here.
1 second,
Your
everything that is in Luke.
your discernment. If the New Testament lied about something that the Old Testament said, what would your discernment tell you about that?
Well, so what my thing is, if you're a believer, right, you're expected to have the
But
Holy Spirit.
we're not.
One second, let me finish.
Well, no,
So,
but like
what
if you
discernment is
I'm
able
asking
to
you,
justify
if you
what is
found
of
out that the
God.
New Testament was lying about what the Old Testament said, what would your discernment lead you
Uh,
to do?
uh,
Would you abandon the New Testament and just believe in the Old Testament?
as a believer, we believe in the Old and New Testament.
Yes, but if it turned out that the New Testament would lie to you about what the Old Testament said, would you abandon the New Testament
But
for the Old
are
Testament?
you a believer then?
No, I'm just asking you.
Are you a
If it's
believer then? Because
no,
you can't take half of God and
it's not half of God.
and
It's not half of God.
yeah.
It's not
Because
like
well,
it's not
to
like
be honest
it's
with
not like
you,
it's not like half of God is located in the New Testament, and half of God's
I
located in
mean,
the Old Testament. That's not how that
you
works.
know what? I can
If
keep it
it
real.
turned out that the New Testament lied to you about the Old Testament and about what God said and all that kind of stuff, would you abandon the New Testament for just the Old Testament?
No, I know God is real because I have a
I
personal
know, no, it's not.
relationship.
It's not about whether or not God's real, because if the Old Testament's true, God is still
You're
real. But if the New Testament was lying to you about what God said and about what the Old Testament said, would you throw out the New Testament and just go to the Old Testament? You would still have God. You would just have the Old Testament.
this walk is about faith. So you
Mike,
cannot take
you would still
you
have
cannot
faith. You
take no.
you can still have
Mhm.
faith in the Old Testament. Faith is in the Old Testament. I'm just saying, if you found out that the New Testament was lying to you about what the Old Testament said, like for example, if the Old Testament said X is true and always will be true,
There's
but the
too
New
much
Testament said
evidence.
there's
There's
too much
too much
evidence,
prophecy that has
too much.
already happened.
No, and that's part of the problem is that
Oh,
sometimes the New Testament will misquote
oh
the Old
no,
Testament.
there's a lot of prophecy that has taken place in
No, I'll give you an
Matthew,
example. I'll give you an example from
in the
Matthew.
book of
I'll
Matthew.
actually give you an example from Matthew. Watch
But
this.
before you start, can I just finish what I was gonna say? Because
No, I don't.
before we kind of got
No,
sidetracked, I
no,
just want to say, just long story short, the void that everybody in this world have, I
is
believe
filled by
that
Peggy.
is
Yes. Pe-
only the true and living God
yeah,
that can
Peggy
fulfill
fills
that,
it. Peggy fills that void.
right?
Anyways, Hosea
And
11 verse
but
11,
to be honest with you,
Hosea 11 verse
no,
1 says, "When Israel was a child, I loved him, and out of Egypt I called my son. The more I called them, the more they went from me. They kept sacrificing to the Baals, offering incense to idols." What is this about? What is this passage about?
so it's talking about the children of Israel,
Yeah,
right?
leaving
So their
Egypt in
old
the
life,
Exodus,
their
right?
past, yeah. So they're talking about when their life
Yes,
in the past in Egypt.
I
So
agree.
but so
Now,
Christ already took
what if the New Testament misquoted that verse to make it look as if it was about Jesus? Are you familiar with the nativity story of Jesus?
What chapter are you in now?
Matthew 2.
Okay.
So Herod, tries to kill baby Jesus.
Yes, because
But
kids is here, he was gonna be born.
but the angel appears to Joseph in a dream and says, "Now after they had left, an angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream and said,
Mm-hmm.
'Get up, take the child and his mother, and flee to
Mm-hmm.
Egypt, and remain there
Mm-hmm.
until I tell you, for Herod is about to search for the child to destroy him.' Then Joseph
Mm-hmm.
got up, took the child and his mother by night, and went to Egypt, and remained there until the death of Herod. This was to fulfill what had been spoken by the Lord through the prophet, 'Out of Egypt I called my son.'" But that's not what the text says, and Hosea does it.
Okay, so that part talks about when Mary and Joseph, because they heard of a savior, right? The Messiah was going to be born. So he had to leave that area where he was at
But
because
this
he
pa-
wanted to kill every firstborn.
but this passage that's being quoted isn't
Well, see,
about
that's why you gotta
it's not
study.
this passage isn't about Jesus though, is it? That's quoting.
No,
You
yes,
were
it's about Jesus that's gonna get he's getting ready to be conceived. And they
No, you
one second,
just
there's a
you
prophecy.
you
One
just
second,
told
there's
it.
a prophecy, and he's telling Joseph to leave that
You
area.
just told us that it was about Israel in the Exodus.
Hey, Empress is here. Teddy B, you're a black individual, correct?
Okay, so you're off topic. So that passage
Yeah,
talks about
I'm
the
asking
birth
this to
of
make
Jesus Christ.
sure because
Yes, I
I
am
don't want
African
to.
American.
Okay, So I have someone here. So it's not just two white people yelling at you. I want to have equal representation on the panel.
Okay, but now you're off topic. I thought this was about how you should
No,
find
I'm just
Christ. Because
I'm
we
just
don't, we, no,
making
no, no, because
sure.
I already, we don't
We're
idolize
just
race here.
being,
You
we're
want, you
just
wanted to
being,
know about
Jesus Christ, we're just being
Christ,
courteous.
right?
Chill out.
Yeah.
We're just being courteous.
So
No,
I don't
I'm
want to
not,
have
I'm not,
I don't want to have us just
actually,
yell
it's
at
kind of
you.
off topic. Because you're asking, how could
name.
you, why would you want to be a believer? And I wanted to answer that. Because we're not talking about race, because now you're off topic. You wanted to know, why should you be a believer? And I'm telling you, because there's a void, right, that only God can fulfill. And let's be honest.
Every
No,
day,
let's be honest.
I
People
got
do not
one
want
more
to give up their
Christian.
will.
Okay. Every day I get one more.
That's the real
every day
reason.
I get one more Christian who makes me want to not be a Christian.
So
So
hey,
what
Tati.
made you walk out of Christianity? If
Go
you
ahead.
don't mind me
Tati.
asking.
Here, go ahead and ask your question, Empress.
So what verse were we just looking at? Because I just came in.
Hosea.
And if you want to know,
Yeah, we were
there
just
are a
reading
bunch of
Hosea
things that
11.
made me walk away.
We were just reading Hosea 11 verse 1 before Matthew 2.
Okay.
Uh,
And just so you know, Tati, I too have walked away from Christianity. I spent decades of my life as a Seventh-day Adventist. I don't know if you're familiar with Adventism, but that's the sect of Christianity that's probably the closest to Judaism. And I walked away.
Tati?
I walked away because I see the ongoing harm throughout the book, right? I see the way that that a woman like myself or like you is demeaned. I see the way that there is no love for children or women or outsiders. And when I say outsiders, anyone who is not an Israelite, which I gotta believe you are not, right?
Tati, you need to unmute yourself. There you go.
Your walk with Christ is personal.
Right, but you were asking them what would have made them walk away. So I'm answering you. In fact,
You know, do we serve God for other people, or do we serve God? Why are you trying to obtain a relationship with God? Is it just to go because, hey, I grew up in this, or are you seeking a personal relationship with God? Christianity is it's more than just, hey, I'm going to church on Sundays and open up it's a personal walk. It's a personal
remember I said I was
relationship.
Seventh-day Adventist, so I actually didn't go to church on Sundays. I went on the Sabbath.
Saturday.
Right. My Sabbath was from sundown on Friday until sundown on Saturday. Right?
So did you grow up in
Yes, I grew up Seventh-day Adventist.
like
I
so? Okay.
dedicated.
Mhm.
I grew up Seventh-day Adventist, and I had my son dedicated in the Seventh-day Adventist church.
So do you feel like your walk was, hey, my mom and dad, this is what I know, or was you feel like your relationship personal?
I had a personal relationship, but you know what? There were things that I saw
Mm-hmm.
within the Bible, within Christianity overall, within the Seventh-day Adventist Church that I
Mm-hmm.
did have questions about, that I had, and that caused me to look deeper, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I count myself as an agnostic atheist. I don't say that there is no higher being,
Mm-hmm.
okay? I just look at the Bible, the Holy Bible, and I am convinced at this point in my life that that cannot be my God. I don't know if if that God exists. I don't know if the gods that are in that Bible exist, but that cannot be my God. And per that book, he is not supposed to be my God. Per Deuteronomy 32:8 and 9, he was never supposed to be my God. Right? And then I look at all of the harm that he does. I look at, even from Genesis 2, the first human, that is created, really a golem converted into a human, is made as a slave. And I take issue with that.
So do God create slavery, or is it man?
Yes, God is the first slave master.
No, incorrect.
Yes, he is. Oh,
He
yes,
he
he
gave
is.
us the
Do you have
autonomy to create rules
do you have your
and govern.
Bible? Do you have your Bible?
I do, but
Okay, go to
God does
go
not
to
approve
Genesis.
slavery.
Nope. No. Go to Genesis 2:5. Go to Genesis 2:5, and before you go there, tell me, what is the definition of slavery?
Slavery and that term and that time, right?
No,
They
no,
were
no, not no,
workers.
no,
No,
not
Yeah,
no,
that
no, no,
requires studying.
no. Tell
Slavery
me
at that
what is
time were workers. They
is
were
the
soldiers.
Tati, no.
Yes.
What is the definition of slavery?
Slavery, according to that time, again, were soldiers. They were workers. They were builders.
No.
This is not.
I
Yes.
asked.
Not is
So
not is
there's
slavery, as you know, during the 1700s with race. You can look that up.
so slavery.
He did not create
Wait,
slavery.
hold on. So you're not being honest. Slavery has to do with an individual being owned by somebody, effectively property.
Yeah, just like the
And
workplace.
wait, hold on. And being forced to work, being limited in where they can go and what they can do. It is not merely a workplace. So that is going to be the definition that we use for slavery.
So the traffic light
Now,
God created.
wait, hold on.
created
Now,
laws. Those
now
laws
open your
that you
Bible.
follow.
Open your Bible. Open your Bible, Tati. I'm going to show you something.
I already know where you're
Because
going with this because I've had these
Why?
discussions.
Okay, so why did Yahweh create? Why did the Lord God create the golem that later became known as man and later became known as Adam?
Right? He created man in
On
his
day
own
3.
image.
No.
He created man
No. Wait, hold on.
to take
No,
part of the land
wait.
to
I'm going to create.
rear the
I'm
land,
going to
govern.
wait. So he did not create him in his own image. That is the Elohim that you're thinking of in Genesis 1. In Genesis 2, though, it doesn't say any of that. What it says is that there was no vegetation. And I'm doing this off the top of my head. That there was no vegetation. And this is on day 3, by the way. This is not humanity that is created on day 6. There was no vegetation because he had not yet sent the rains and he had no one to till the ground. And so between that and verse 2:5 and I believe 2:7, he creates that golem out of the dirt. He forms it and he blows into it and brings it to life. He creates the vegetation, including the tree of life and the tree of knowledge of good and evil, which I want to point out to you is not in Genesis 1. He actually places evil into the garden. Because in order to have knowledge of good and evil, you have to have it. He places them, let's see, 2:10 to 2:14 talks about the rivers, the 4 rivers that go, that start in the garden and pass through it, and then go into the rest of the world. And then 2:15, it tells you that he placed man into the garden to till it and keep it.
That's what I just said.
He then gives him his instruction about he is able to eat from almost everything except for the tree of knowledge of good and evil.
And that was the warning.
For in the day that he eats of it, he will unalive. He needs a good, slightly dumb slave. A smart slave would be able to recognize that this is slavery and would want to leave. Right? Would not be okay with it. You do not ever see that he says, hey man, this is my garden. Do you like it? Would you mind working here? No. His intention for man is always that he is to till it and keep it. He has given so little thought into him that very soon after he realizes, man isn't doing so well by himself. He needs a partner. What does he do next? Does he create woman at that point, Tati?
I'm familiar with that passage, but
Does he create woman at
what
that
is your
point?
point? Can you land your plane? Well, I
I'm
just want to know your
showing you
point.
that
I mean,
because he was created, because
uh-huh.
he was simply created as a slave, everything about him is an afterthought, other than the working the garden. Which is why, in terms of creating a partner for him, he now creates out of the dirt all of the animals.
So
And
you
runs
don't
all
work
the
to
animals
eat?
past him.
Question, you don't work to eat?
If this is an all-loving God,
But you don't work
could
to
he
eat?
could he not have given him some weeks to just enjoy the garden?
Okay, but
Did
don't
it
you
wait,
work
wait,
to
it,
eat?
did wait, if this is an all-powerful God, did he need to make him work?
So you don't work the land to eat?
Did he need, if this is an all-powerful God, did he need to make him
I'm gonna
work?
let you answer that because that's actually in Genesis. He did something to the
Here,
ground.
let me help you out. The answer is no.
He
If it's an
made it.
all-powerful God,
He
you don't need to work the land to eat.
That was actually the curse. That's why the ground
No,
was
no,
cursed.
prior to
You
the
had
curse.
see you got
Prior to the curse, he made him to work the ground and till it.
And also,
Prior.
as a woman, your childbearing pains come from this. In the Hebrew, it does not mean that they started before that. Dan McClellan has an awesome video on this. But just as a woman, the reason why you have pains is because of God in childbirth.
He only creates woman when man has not found a sufficient animal to be his partner. And when he
an
makes
animal.
woman,
Okay, I
yes.
don't know where you get that continent
Oh,
from.
It's in
No,
Genesis.
see
Genesis
that.
too.
it's there in
God,
Genesis too.
God makes
It's
Adam,
there in
and
Genesis too.
God makes Adam, and then God says it's not good for man to be alone. I will make a helpmeet for
Meant
him.
to be alone. I'm gonna
Yeah,
create him a helpmate.
so
He created
he,
Ezra as a
Right.
helpmate.
And he does not create woman at that point. I
yeah.
just said to you, out of the same dirt, he creates each animal and presents them to Adam. Or still known as man. He's not known as Adam yet. He
I can
presents them to man.
Okay.
I can talk about the woman
So
topic.
how?
Like
So I'm trying to understand. Okay. So do you believe that God is a merciful God? Even though Adam and Eve did say, so you don't see throughout the Word of God that He shows His
You know
mercy.
what mercy would have been?
Wait,
I know you just
No,
committed
no,
a
no,
sin.
not your logic.
Here's
Based on what He's done in the New Testament.
here's what mercy
Does
is.
he-
I know you did wrong. I'm gonna forgive you. You can stay in the garden. Oh, good. That's mercy.
wait, mercy would have been, hey, you know what? I didn't even think you were worthy of speaking to when I created you. Because he doesn't talk to woman. He does not speak to woman until he decides to punish her. Not a single word. He does not give her instruction. So mercy would have been, hey, you know what? My bad. I never told you what you could or could not do. And in fact, that means this really wasn't off limits for you. So
You know
going
what?
forward,
So is God
no touch.
merciful to?
No, he's not, because in
No,
First
he
Yes,
Timothy,
he
punished her.
is.
He punished
what
her for.
That's
He
part of his
punished.
character
He
in the
punished
word.
her. He punished her for instructions he never gave her.
yeah, she never got it. First off, it was passed on from him.
Okay, I'm
But
confused. I thought your
Well,
topic was why should I be a
wait,
Christian?
Teddy.
Actually,
Ashlyn is
You're
saying
not.
don't know
something.
how she.
You wanted me to
Ashley,
answer the prompt.
Go ahead, Ashlyn.
Ashley, you don't know. Ashley, you don't know how she found out. She could have overheard it from, some squirrels.
That's what I'm saying.
Because
Yeah.
the instructions that she gives to what she repeats to the serpent is not what he told Adam. He never told Adam that they can't touch it.
The thing that like really drives this home to me though is even if she did this, how is this as my fault a woman and not the man's fault? Why isn't this all of humanity's fault? And then even in the New Testament, when we get to Timothy, First Timothy, right, we're seeing that it's like our duty is we only can be saved through childbearing, right? That is what First Timothy says. It's not even about the fact that she sinned. Why isn't man responsible? Men don't have the same carrying of this weight, even though like I didn't do any of this. And we see this in Exodus 20, 4 through 5. I am a jealous God, punishing children for the iniquity of parents to the third and fourth generation. This God is not merciful. He literally tells you in the 10 Commandments that he is a jealous God and he will punish you
But
for
he's
what your
merciful
parents did.
now. Even when people doubt him, he's showing you mercy right now.
Then why in First Timothy does he punish women and say the only way? By the way, do you have a child?
Not yet.
Okay, do you know people that maybe are infertile? Because I'll read you First
Not in my
Timothy.
circle that I know.
Okay, do you think that people who are infertile?
Not to cut you off, but I came to answer the prompt, and I'm noticing that you guys are going off track. You're going into Genesis and race,
The
and I
irony
think
of you
it's
telling
not
me
fair.
that the irony of you telling me that we've gone off track is wild. But here's the thing. We're
No,
thir-
and I'm willing to answer.
We're-
I don't mind being
Tati.
engaged, but I came to answer the prompt
Wait, can I ask her one more question?
because you're stuck on
Yeah.
race. That's idolizing.
No,
you're
I
stuck on yes. You're,
I
you're
haven't
idolizing
said
race and slavery.
I'm not saying anything about race.
Yeah.
Hey,
Black people, as soon as they talk about slave and race, and that's idolizing.
slavery.
We're talking about having a
slavery-
relationship with an eternal Father.
Slavery is for anybody who is not an Israelite.
Because you just brought up my race and my
That
black.
is not.
And
That is
I'm trying
not
to
race. That
get
is
my
not
experience.
race.
Oh my God,
That is
Tati!
not race.
The only reason race
That
was
is
brought up
not
in the
race.
first place had nothing to do with the slavery topic.
No.
Had everything to do with the fact that me and Ashlyn just
Wait.
wanted to be two white people yelling at a black person. We wanted to
Yeah.
be equal representation
But-
here. For fuck's sake.
No. But Dalton, hold on. But I just explained to you, and I explained it before. The slavery has nothing to in the Bible has nothing to do with race, but ethnicity, and it is open to anybody who is not a Israelite. Because
I could be a slave to the Israelites.
He tells you this you can do to people who are from cities or nations, depending on the version you read, far away from you and who are not of these nations, meaning not of the 12 tribes. Right? But you know what? Since you say he's merciful, is it a merciful God, Tati, who gives men, soldiers, step-by-step instructions on how to kidnap you, take you back to their homes,
Deuteronomy
rape you,
21.
right? And rape you and make you their wife. And then once you're their wife,
Dalton, pull up Deuteronomy 21.
If they have even a even a an air of what is it? Not suspicion of you, of jealousy. If they have an air of jealousy about you, that they can drag you to the priest, make you take a potion that will make you violently ill, possibly cause you to miscarry, hopefully make you barren,
Numbers. That's Numbers
possibly
5.
possibly unalive you, because if in 2026 a woman can be unalived by a miscarriage, you better believe the rates were very high for mortality for miscarriage in the
Empress,
biblical times.
I just want to give people context. This is Numbers 5. So prior to this was Deuteronomy 21 and war captives, and then we're talking about Numbers 5 now. So for
Okay.
anyone who wants to look up the stuff, you can write it down.
Now, this has been all interesting and whatnot. We are 30 minutes over. So, Tati, maybe you can come back another day. I will be live tomorrow.
When are
wanted to
you
tell
on?
me-
When are
I just
when are
wanted
you
to tell
on?
me,
What
is
days
this-
are
is
you
that-
on?
Tati, is that a
Are you on
merciful
at a
God?
certain time?
Real
Should let Empress. Can we
Yeah.
let Empress finish this conversation, please?
No, he asked the question. I just wanted to. He
No,
said Todd to
Emperor,
come
what were
back
you
on
gonna-
another time.
I'll tell you in a second, Tati, as soon as we get done finishing. What were you going to say, Empress?
I just want Tati to tell me if that is a merciful God.
Yes,
who
because he
gives
punishes sin and he's merciful. If you're willing to open,
Where did you hear any
he punishes sin,
Where did
and
you
he's
hear
open to
sin
give you
on
mercy.
Where did you hear sin on the part of the women in those stories that I
He
mentioned?
punishes sin again,
What
and
sin?
he's a merciful God.
What sin did they commit?
They get kidnapped, raped, forced into marriage, and possibly unalived because the husband is now possibly a little jealous of them.
So that's so certain behaviors you blame God and not man and the works of the flesh.
He gives
If you're a Bible
He
expert,
gives
you should know what the
instructions
Bible.
for this.
You should what is the works of the flesh then? You're expressing the
He
works of the flesh.
gives-
Tati,
gives
it is
step-by-step
Those
it
are
is-
works of the
Tati,
flesh.
No, Tati, it is your God who gives instructions on how to take female captives. It's not man. It's your God who does.
We can look at Numbers 31 too, which is like way worse.
Oh, yeah.
God punishes sin and he offers mercy.
Okay. What sin
That's it.
did these female captives commit that they deserve to be
All right.
captives?
So being a believer is personal. I just simplified it. God
No,
punishes
Tati,
sins,
Tati,
and he's
what
merciful.
What sin did these women commit that they deserve to be captives?
Not
All right,
women,
so-
girls.
I thought your prompt was to see why
Young
you wanted to
girls.
be a believer.
Yeah, and you pushed me
I
further
want-
away from it.
I want
No,
to know
it's
why
it's
you,
it's and I'm telling you,
I-
there's things that took place in the Bible that shows God punishes sin, right?
He also
and
pun-
he yet
he
shows his
also-
mercy.
he also
I
punishes
want
innocent
to
people.
know-
Maybe you don't want to get, to be honest, maybe some people, because people want to have their own will. That's another
I
thing.
don't-
So why some people don't want to be believers. And that's the honest
what were you
truth.
saying, what were you saying, Empress?
And I got to
don't
come
understand-
down.
I want to understand why you would want to follow a God who doesn't see the rape and abuse of young girls.
Yes, he
and
does.
women.
Because
as sin.
I was great by.
No,
by,
he doesn't.
Yes,
He does
Maybe-
not see
I don't know
that
your
as
story, but I know
sin.
my story, and he has
does
healed me
not
from
see
that.
that as sin.
Maybe
In
to you,
fact,
but
in
I've
Numbers-
experienced. You
in
cannot talk
Numbers
about something you
31,
might have done.
In Numbers 31, he actually takes it.
No, and God is a healer, and He's able to heal you mentally.
Yeah.
Numbers 31, he actually takes an active role.
We're gonna
Yeah,
go
he
ahead.
does.
We're gonna read Numbers 31 real quickly before we leave off here. It says here.
Can we play the song after?
Which song?
Oh, you can end YouTube. The song that I just sent you, Sophia Izal.
Okay.
Zella.
Wait, is it a copyrighted song?
That's what I'm saying. Don't do it on YouTube. End it on YouTube if you can. If you're
Oh.
not, that's fine. It's your show.
Yeah, I maybe after the credits roll, I'll play it. Yeah, it says here. Have you allowed the women to live? These women here are on Balaam's. Okay. Now, therefore, kill every male among the little ones, and kill every woman who has known a man by sleeping with him. But all the young girls who have not known a man by sleeping with him, keep alive for yourselves. What did they do to deserve this? We'll never get an answer.
So Dr. Alexandria Fry, she's on TikTok. I think she's on YouTube as well. She talks about it, brings up the passages. She talks about Numbers 31, and she brings this up. Great resource. She's another biblical scholar to add to your belt, and also a woman in the field, which is more rare than not. So Dr. Alexandria Fry on YouTube, on Facebook, or not Facebook, on TikTok. She talks about Numbers 31 and brings it back to Deuteronomy 21 and lays out this out so you can kind of have better context to this.
All right, I'm gonna do the run the credits real quick, and then we'll listen to the music. But everyone, make sure if you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe to the Bible Guy channel on YouTube.
And Empress.
What?
Thank you for coming up, Empress. Empress came up. Thank you so much, Empress. I appreciate you so much. And so does Dalton.
Absolutely. But anyways, I've been the Bible Guy. Remember to keep reading, keep learning, and we'll see you all again tomorrow after the Unapologetic Show. Bye.
Born from dust and questioning fire, wielding truth like a sword of desire. Ancient scrolls and cosmic flame, he tears through myth, he breaks the chain. Echoes of prophets, the stars align, knowledge and thunder intertwine. Reason ascends where blind faith fell. He reads the word and he reads it well. The Bible Guy, seeker of the light. Through time and fire he rides the night with reason's blade and wisdom's cry.